Usually, the cold months bring the festival of Chrimbus, a joyful celebration of giving, and marks the founding of the city of Giftingham. However, a foul curse of apathy and cynicism has cloaked the streets, and the citizens have no desire to even leave their homes, let alone partake in the holiday spirit. The curse, a musky black fog, has poured out of the mountain tomb of the city's patron saint Chrimbo, who usually stands vigilant over Giftingham, but now it leers balefully as something, or someone, has set about ruining the holiday. It is the night before Chrimbus. 3 powerful heroes, natives of the city, were able to resist the mist, and we find them now at the threshold of the tomb.
One, Loxton Chajalepi. I'm a noble of either a lord or a prince.
Maybe you were raised in the embassy of Giftingham. That might make sense. Yeah.
Yes. I'm loved by the people because I'm very generous. I love gifting and giving gifts. I've had my Peacock Sultana from an early childhood. We've been friends ever since. I've always loved sneaking out of the embassy to learn of what gifts people want to have for Christmas.
A real man of the people is shy. That makes sense. Yes.
Okay. I am Natasha Novosibirsk. I am married to a weasel of a husband named Sergey. I have a small boy, and no one is going to ruin his Chrimbus.
I think no clearer motivation is had.
I am a mercenary. I do many mercenary jobs around the city, but no one is ruining my little boy's Chrimbus.
My name is Jacques Frost. Not too much is known about where I came from, but all I know is that one day I rocked up at the orphanage in the town. But obviously, as a sorcerer, he realised that he was imbued with these powers, which meant that he could focus his attention more on learning. He's wise beyond his years, and through studying history, he learned of many great old tales, of lost civilizations and the such. He developed a wanderlust, and each year he sets off on a great journey and comes back with an ancient gift for the town as a way of thanks for his upbringing. But this year, when he returned with the gift, no one cared.
Oh.
And now he's upset why, and he's gonna go and stop them.
Well, of course, Jacques would know, as a student of law, he would know that he is in a way following in the footsteps of Chrimbo, who founded the town by giving them a great gift when they were destitute and refugees. He brought to them supplies and food, and every year he came back with new things to build up the town, and this sort of developed into the gifting, which is, maybe takes on a bit more frivolous nature these days, but it's still very important to the people, usually. Now, as I say, you've scaled this mountain looming over the town, and as you have arrived, as you see in front of the tomb here, you see it's carved into the mountain with this great bronze gate that there's a crack in the bottom. A little section has been pushed through, and smoke is pouring out of it. And just underneath the crack, you can see there's little signs of rails. What do you guys do? You're out front. For scale, the door is probably about 10 feet wide, about 10 feet tall, 5 feet wide-ish.
Well, whatever seems to be disturbing the town must be coming from in here. So I guess we should probably try to open it up and go inside.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Okay, so do you approach the door again? You've seen the smoke. This is the thickest you've seen the smoke. But approaching it, walking through it, do you take any precautions? Specific ones?
Does it smell? The smoke.
You give it a sniff. It doesn't. It smells sort of dusty.
Okay.
How well do we know the site of this tomb?
Okay. Make a history.
Sure.
Okay, it's decent. So you know that not only is Chrimbo himself buried here after his death of old age, he was a dwarf as well, which you would have known. He is also buried here with his elf helpers, 6 mighty elf warriors who were very inspired by Chrimbo's selfless deeds, and they sought after his death to preserve his name, and there's they who built the tomb here, and they of course did, after probably another 1,000 years, died of old age as well, and they are also buried here. This is not something that is generally open to the public. Okay. Maybe this will be visited by a priest every few years to just check on things, but it's unusual for it to be opened anyway. Are you going to give a push on this block?
Yeah, so it's on It's on rails, so it slides.
It slides inwards. You pushing the snow aside at your feet, you see that the rails begin, but they do not come out. So the only way to push it easily would be to push it further in. Upon interacting, you do see that it's hard to move, but you can push it at a decent pace without having to make any checks. Essentially, you can open it.
Okay.
All of us together.
Yeah. Let's all give it a mighty push.
Okay, you all lean on it again. It's not the most wide thing, but you can all get your hands up from out here, so that's fine. You give it a big push, and there's a creak and a groan as it slides on these rails. But and again, it's very cold to the touch. It is the winter months, but it does slide open, and you end up having to push it further than you'd think. It's in fact it's a small tunnel. Eventually, it's just Natasha pushing it with a powerful strength, pushing past the smoke. It's not thick enough that it's going to affect you. You see the first chamber. You see a large room with pillars on the side, and and the rails continue up this strange ramp in the middle. The gateway is a replica of the gate of the city of Giftingham, and the bell that hangs there is very similar. It's a smaller replica, but the bell is there. It's part. You would in fact know, Jacques, that this bell is part of the celebration. Is the ringing of the 3 bells of Giftingham, which have been there since even before the town was started. The ruins of some ancient dwarven settlement were here before, and that is why people settled there. You also see 6 graves and thicker fog. There's fog throughout the entire room, but these thick, swirling black clouds are blowing up and down the hall. There's a door at the very end where the smoke is coming from as well.
What's the light like in?
The lighting, okay, that's a fair point. Yes, above the ramp, there's this weird sort of dancing lights that fill the room, and the bell itself has a magical glow to it. But it's mostly dim light. When you have pushed it through, you realise that what you're pushing was not just a door. On the other side is a statue of Chrimbo himself, dragging the door and holding his cane in front of him.
Huh.
He's holding his cane above his head. He himself, the statue, is about 10 feet tall. With the cane above, it's probably another 5 feet on that, so about 15.
So it seems that to maybe move through the tomb, we need to take Chrimbo on his voyage?
Oh,
It's not the worst idea.
You do think that you should be able to go there. It will be much harder to push this up there, but you think you might be able to manage it, especially if it is on these rails.
I should maybe be able to push it with your help, way better than my weasel Sergei with his little arms.
Looking ahead, you think certainly for the first few feet, but when you get to the last 3 or 15 feet or so, it's too narrow to get 2 people on there. So it's going to be one person only, or maybe someone behind them pushing as well.
my elephant build allows me to push things much heavier than it would seem for me to push. I've had a lot of experience carrying around so much gold. So much gold from my family household. Yes. I've got a powerful build.
As you guys are standing there, by the way, you notice that the clouds sort of move up and down the room slightly. They're going quite slowly, but I'd say they're more or less in the middle right now. Again, it looks thicker than the smoke you've seen, but again, the smoke has not proven to be deadly, and the smoke, the cursed smoke that people have been affected in the town has been a sort of building up over time thing.
And we already know that we're immune to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have resisted it.
I know.
I shall say.
Something tells me I don't want to stand in it, regardless.
Natasha lowers her goggles onto her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Dark vision goggles.
Nice. Yes.
Kind of like peering around the room, trying to see if there's anything like around. I do notice that there are 6 graves in this room, right?
Yes, there are 6 graves.
So there are 6 graves in this room, and you told us, Jacques, that there is 6 elves?
There are indeed. Yeah, do you reckon that they could be them? Can I go over to one and see if there's any identifying marks?
Yeah.
Like
Make a check to investigate.
Sure.
And also, crit fail. It's grave. Yeah, it's
Snake eyes.
It's definitely big enough to put an elf in it.
Snake eyes.
Right? But yeah, Natasha, could you make a perception check before we're looking around the room? With your night vision goggles on now.
I am very perceptive.
Crit! What is this?
Well, you weren't lying.
It's a bit of Christmas magic. Chrimbo magic, pardon. Crimbus magic. Excuse me, I am going to get that wrong. I guarantee I've already got it wrong, but I'm going to continue to get it wrong. When you look over the graves, you already know they are definitely casting shadow, because you can see that they're casting shadow. But you see that the shadows that they're casting are moving not in a way that is concurrent with the lights flashing on and off and moving around. You also notice while you're there that these graves have been cracked, and recently. You can see even little discarded, twisted, broken tools and chips of the graves have been snapped off and pushed apart slightly. There's the slightest of cracks in these tombs, but something has cracked them open.
It seems there has been somebody who is quite busy in this room.
Someone's desecrated this ancient
Should we
burial
check
ground.
inside?
You can check inside. You want to pop it open?
Should we check inside?
I've also, just because you got a crit as well, you do notice that the cane he holds above his head would definitely ring the bell if pushed all the way through. Like, that would...
Yeah.
It's high enough to ring on that bell.
Okay, so... I think...
Can I smell this grave that's in front of me? If there's anything inside of it.
Yeah, okay. So you approach that.
Because I've got keen smell.
Would you sniffing it be... Would you sniffing it be you standing fully upright and then your trunk just going over?
Yeah, my trunk is just sort of, it's like just over the top.
It
like
smells like there's a dead guy in there.
Oh, I think there's something in here.
But it doesn't smell like, it's
I don't know.
Dry. Let's put it that way. This is a lot.
Yeah.
This was a few hundreds of years ago at this point.
As I suspected, these are graves.
Yes. But nothing's popped out, no, if that's what you were wondering. Whatever's meant to be in there is still in there. Mostly.
We should be very careful. If you do wish to pop open the caskets, then we should maybe be prepared for a fight. There seems to be some kind of corruption. Points at like the shadows and the.
Well, it seems we have two options: open a casket or push Saint Chrimbo.
Can Peacock please make a perception?
Peacock camera.
Peacock, Sultana, pardon me.
Sultan.
I really do wish to push little Carl.
You can start pushing over. Ooh, Sultana starts pecking at your shadow.
Oh, I look down.
Looking at your shadow, you see your ears looking a bit pointy. Pointier than they ought to be. Nothing's happening though.
I look at everyone else's shadow.
Everyone else's is fine.
Oh, I back away from the grave.
Your shadow continues to be a bit pointy. It's on the wall now.
Okay.
I do not let my shadow touch his creepy shadow.
That's a fair point. But yeah, nothing's happening.
Well, I'm gonna give the old man a good shove.
Okay, so you give him a big old push, and he moves a square forward, and you do as well, I suppose. You think that took, without too much effort, that took about 6 seconds. You think if you really gave it your all and did nothing else, you could probably move it 2 in 6 seconds for next time. However, something does happen when you start pushing it. You feel a chill, and you look behind you, and everyone else sees this as well, as your shadow takes on a slightly different appearance. A dancing, spooky, definitely corrupt, evil shadow is lingering behind you. And could we make initiative rolls, please?
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
No! Shadow! You betrayed me!
My shadow!
I am very initiative.
Ooh, you guys are flying ahead here.
How do I pronounce your name, Raj?
It's Chai Jalebi, but just call me Chai.
Just try.
Chai.
But now I need to pronounce that in a Russian accent. Chai...
Jalebi.
Chai Jalebi.
Nice. Jacques, you see Chai's shadow leering spookily over him now. Again, it's sort of taken on a 3D. It's very trippy to look at. It's not just plastered on the ground anymore. And it is your turn.
This wasn't Chrimbo at all.
Scary Chrimbo.
I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna hold out a hand, and ice is gonna form from it, and it's gonna take over the shadow and cast Frostbite.
Ooh. Frostbite. Con save. What's your
15?
Ooh, 15. Okay, so it fails to save. For a minute, you're like, you think to yourself, I do know that some undead are sort of very cold immune. This one definitely your cold is having difficulty biting onto the incorporeal form, but it's definitely sort of it bursts for a second and reforms around the ice. But so you've done something. Any other things you can do?
No, I think I'm good to stay at the moment.
Chai, your shadow has reared up against you. You feel now as well that if you were now that the statue is on its way up, if you were to move away from it, it might start rolling back down. Not like really fast, but it would. It's a payload mission.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm going to use my action to push the statue further.
Oh, okay. So you're going to go a whole 2 squares if you use your action to do that. Because you can use your movement to just push it.
Okay.
Because you're currently sort of grabbing
yeah.
it by leaning up against it.
Yeah, I'll use my movement. I'll use my movement to push it.
And you have to move with it
to
do that. I'm trying to figure out now if this gets an opportunity attack. I think I think it goes with you instead of getting an opportunity.
Okay.
I think that makes sense to me.
Sure. I'm going to keep hold of it, and I'm going to use my action to tell Sultana to attack it. Attack my shadow. Don't worry, Sultana. Attack my shadow. It's not me.
It's not mine. Okay.
Then it turns out that they're colourblind and they're
attack.
just looking between you two.
Sultana is flanking, so you have advantage. Are your attacks magical? Ooh, you hit.
Sultana's attacks aren't magical.
Sultana pecks at it. It goes right through it. It doesn't seem to be
Oh.
affected by non-magical attacks.
Oof.
Oof. Big oof. Good roll, eh? Definitely. And you know for certain that it's not taking anything from that.
Okay. And then I will use my bonus action to... I'm going to cast Shillelagh on my staff.
Okay, cool. Do you cast like run your trunk along it or what?
Yeah. I'm holding it with my trunk, and you see the staff. My quarterstaff has it's more like a fancy cane with an elephant for the top of it.
Sure.
An elephant head, and
Makes
I imbue it with the power of nature.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Now you have a magic quarterstaff for next time. It's the shadow's turn. This shadow is going to use its attack on you. Strength drain.
Oh no!
Ooh, it misses. The shadow leaps out of you. It sort of tries to wrap its arms around you, but you sort of lean back. It's not. It's when you move, the shadow kind of moves with you. So when you move to dodge, it kind of accidentally misses as a result. So you're kind of controlling it to a certain degree. So luckily, it's missed. But next time, it might be able to account for this change, and maybe it'll try something new. Behind you, Jacques, you feel a cold wind as another shadow has attached itself to you without you noticing. So this one is attached to you, Jacques. And it will also make a strength drain attack on you. 14 does that hit? That doesn't miss. It misses.
Misses.
Ooh, again, crafty. It does miss. But there is now another one in the fight.
Thank Christmas, Chrimbo.
Thank Chrimbo. Okay, so Natasha, is here.
I am going to keep letting you push, little cart. I'm going to dart here, and then I'm going to ready my Silvered Morningstar.
Ooh,
and
nice.
I am going to unleash 2 attacks.
Okay.
Bam.
Yes, so it hits because you are flanking, because it is attacking someone else. Yeah, cool.
That is 12 points of piercing damage.
Ooh. So you spin up a mighty swing with this Morningstar, and you keep slapping along, and you see the silver sort of ignite slightly, and sparks fly out as it cuts the head off this shadow, and it dissipates into nothing.
Ooh.
Nice.
Nice. Oh.
I am then going to take step right here and do the same again.
Oh yeah. Okay, that hits as well.
14.
Ooh. With the momentum for that first swing, you sort of pirouette around, bring another mighty attack down, not quite destroying the shadow, but you see it's stopped moving around so much, and it's slowed, and it's definitely looking much faded. You do also, though, with your low light goggles, see other shadows moving weirdly in the room. Again, because you have the low light from it, these unnatural shadows are not blending in so well with the dark ones, the actual real shadows. You can't really make out where they are, but there's others from the graves. Is there something else about it?
Yeah, I would like to move to block the space behind Chai.
Okay.
So that they can't grab onto him again, maybe.
That's cool. I can get behind that.
Thank you.
Okay, so on initiative 0, I'm going to roll to see how far these clouds move. So the top one moves 1 square. It's already going. And the bottom one will move as well. D8. 3. So this one moves 1, 2, 3. So it's at the end of the room. And you see as it reaches the end of the room, it sort of billows up against the wall and begins to like move backwards. Back down the room. Back to you, Jacques.
I think I'm going to use my movement
That might make sense.
to disengage over here.
Okay,
Action,
so
sorry.
by your action, so you jump up, and as you jump from the ground, the shadow seems left behind as you dart away from it. As you disconnect it for a second.
Good.
Cool.
Get out of here. I'm going to frostbite this one as well.
Okay. So make a con save. That's right. Ooh, it passes.
Nothing happens.
You fire off a blast of ice as you jump back, but unfortunately you're distracted. You're doing too much stuff, and it fails.
I am going to... Actually, no, I'll do nothing. I'm alright. I'm going to conserve resources.
Okay. Chai.
Oh, okay. Yes. I'm going to use my action to keep pushing the jolly old man.
2 squares?
Yes, 2 squares.
Oh, so you power it right at the top. That has left you huffing and puffing. It's beginning to teeter over the top. You think that the last one will only move it 1 square, but you'll have to use your action to do it because it's the steepest point.
Oh, yes, I see. I'm going to have, without an action, I will move, ask Sultana to come to me and fly up with me.
Okay.
So it's level with me.
So it's flying alongside you. So you're probably about 10 feet up right now.
Okay, sure.
And you do see that the clouds kind of don't go all the way to the top of the room, but like they command like a decent like 20 foot upwards as well.
Be on the lookout for any more spooky bees.
So the one that got detached is going to pursue Jacques.
Ah, no.
Yeah.
It caught up.
How dare! It's going to try and drain your strength. No, it misses again. These things suck. I haven't DM'd for ages. This is what happens. And Natasha, you see next to it another one forms out of the ground to it and attaches to your feet.
Oh no.
20. Okay, so your strength will be reduced by a D4, which is pretty nasty for you as the fighter. 3. Ooh. You feel as the shadow attaches to you and grabs onto you. You feel the strength drain from you, and you're spinning your flail a little slower right now. And it looks at you with these hollow eyes, and it has an expression of hate. Now you can see its face a little close. It has very, very hard to perceive, but there is an expression there. And this does not seem to be the... You've heard of these elvish helpers, fighters, and this does not seem like them. This is not what the stories have said. Something's gone on here.
These are nothing like the Chrimbo decorations we hang.
Exactly. Also, unfortunately for you, Raj, one appears behind you.
Oh.
It has snuck up, and it's going to make an attack on to you. 17?
Oh, God.
17 is my AC.
I use
no.
my reaction.
Oh.
The runes glow on my armor, and you gain +2 AC.
Nice! Perfect.
Yes.
As the shadow sneaks up behind you, you look over your shoulder like, oh jeez. But you see Natasha...
No, you don't, Megatron.
no, you don't! Natasha, the powerful runic magic Natasha employs has saved you.
Oh yes, your weasel of a husband truly is a blessed man to have you by his side. But,
Let's talk of Sergei, we'll smash. I'm going to... I guess I just try and attack the shadow that's in front of Jacques.
Sure, yeah, that one's looking pretty weak. Again, you've already hit that one a bit.
I swing my Morning Star right at it.
So even with your slightly reduced strength, the momentum of the Morningstar carries right through. Roll damage, but you will kill it. It's got 2 HP, come on. And this one is cleared out, and you turn your eyes to the one at your own feet.
And they kind of follow, right?
Yeah, they move with you a little bit.
Then I rush the one behind Shy.
Ah, okay. So it is moved here. Against the fog, it's kind of casting... You know how when like shadows on clouds sort of move, but they're still there. So you can see it in there, but it's not it's sort of passing through it.
I'm not going to let no one stop pushing little cart.
Nice.
Morning Star.
Oh! A powerful strike.
Swing right for it.
This thing is too busy grabbing onto Chai, and this thing, you blow away one of its arms, and it begins to reform, but it's definitely lost a lot of health.
I would like to action surge.
Ooh, okay.
A rush of energy.
I want to get this guy pushed. So
Okay.
I'm going to swing twice to kill this thing, so Chai can just do it. Get
Sure,
push it.
yeah.
21.
With advantage that hits, yeah.
Oh.
Again, another powerful swing, and you straight through it onto the ground, banging off the metal, making a ringing sound, and you look up at this thing, it's completely dissipated into nothing. Very good.
And not only the one who stole my strength. Fourth and final attack for the turn.
Yes, that hits. You swing on through the fog, this one. It's hard to keep track of it as the fog shifts, and it shifts as it is being projected onto the fog as well. But you do make good damage as the silver bites into this magical undead creature.
That is my turn.
1, uno, and the bottom one moves 6. Oh, so this one doubles back.
No.
Oh no!
Sultana is enveloped in the fog, and can Sultana make a perception check while it's in there? Just
A perception check.
yeah. Or what's its passive perception? Probably more apt.
Well, it has +7. So it's passive perception.
Okay, so
17.
I'll just tell you what Sultana sees, just for the sake of it. While in the cloud, Sultana is struggling to breathe, but not feeling anything right now, but sees little hands reaching out at it in the fog, and hears sort of chittering laughs, and Sultana begins to feel a little bit. Well, no, we'll get to that when it's your turn. Speaking of which, it is Jacques' turn.
Jack will just look at this other one,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just gonna hit it with a ray of frost.
Sure. Oh, that does hit.
Thank God. Oh,
Very nice.
good damage.
Again, you think the frost's probably not doing as much as you'd like to it, but it's doing something. It's chipping away at this thing.
It's my only damage type. It's either that or I hit it with my 1d6 machete.
Well, you've always got your wand. You never know what that could do.
I'm
Use
saving
the
that.
machete.
I'm saving the one.
Jack Frost's famous machete.
Yeah, for cutting ice blocks. You know, an ice
Yeah.
knife. That's the thing.
He's getting through the ice vines.
Okay, it is Chai's turn, is it not? Yes. So
yes.
I'd like you to make some rolls for me on behalf of Sultana.
Okay.
First of all, could you please make a
Death save.
death save, please? No, a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom. Oh,
Yeah.
Sultana's wise as heck.
He passes, but he feels that if he'd been stuck in there, he probably would have become maybe not lethargic to the point of not doing anything, but not keen to move around. However, something else happens while they're in there. Could you roll a d4 for me?
Sure.
You lose that many limbs.
Oh, 3. That's not great. The smoke, the arms reach out of the smoke, and 3 horrible winged smoke creatures
Oh.
Oh no.
come out of the fog.
This is Chrimbo, help! Because Sultana has exceptional training, I can have it disengage with a bonus action. And,
I do imagine that high-level characters do start using like game terms eventually, like.
And I cast Pot of Greed, allowing you to draw a card.
Yeah.
But Sultana will fly to safety behind me, so there won't be another shadow that just sort of appears.
Okay. Yeah.
I will finish pushing the fat man.
Ah, nice.
The fat dwarf.
Okay.
Yes.
With a mighty burst of strength, you tip him over the edge.
Daddy old man!
As you tip it over the edge, it runs away from you. It slides quickly down, and the last thing you hear before everything goes black is the ringing of a bell. A shadowy blackness fills the room, and you see snow. And you look around. In fact, you smell the air. It feels you're outside. You see the gate of Giftingham, and you see the bell. And you looking around, you hear a crunch of snow, and you see a little figure dragging a huge steaming bag of what looks like food and supplies, dragging it through the snow off in the distance. And as soon as this vision appears, it is quickly gone, and you're back in the room. But the shadows are acting normal now. The methods are still there, to be clear. But the room, it feels the light is acting normal, and everything's a bit more nice. And the glow of the bell has faded.
And that will be my turn.
Cool. So it's the Mephit's turn now. The Mephit that's here is going to attack Sultana by using its blinding breath.
Oh.
So it's going to hit you as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so could you please make a dexterity save, please?
DC 10's easy, mate. No chance of failing that.
No way.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Okay, so
Sultana's dexterous as hell.
the mephit, the smoke creature, rears out of the cloud and breathes this huge cloud dust spray into your eyes. But you weren't born yesterday. You turn away, you cover your eyes. It's fine. One of them is going to move this over to here and also use its smoke breath onto both of you two.
Oh no, these humbug bears.
Nice.
I have Shield Master, so I get to add my shield bonus to
Awesome.
my dexterity check, which means that this is going to be very good.
Oh,
Is that 9 then? 9! No! Oh, Natasha, you raise your shield up thinking, this will be alright.
You hold your shield up and it goes around it.
The goggles, they do nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you begin to raise your shield up, it got right in your face. It was really quick, blasted right out. Which means
it's not the breath that blinds you. It's the condensation from within the goggles.
yes, agreed. I can get behind that. It's the condensation from you getting pleased with yourself and flush of the cheeks, and you breathe out some cold air. Oh no, can't see anything. But yeah, this one's going to come up behind you, and it's going to make an attack on you, which is going to be with advantage because you're blind. So an advantage claw attack.
My AC's 20.
Oh, your AC's 20. Of course it is. Nice, shield and play.
Oh.
You're blinded, and you feel the mephit claw out behind you, but you can hear telltale scratches on metal as it fails to penetrate the armor. Now we're now to Natasha. You are blinded.
Okay, and I get to repeat.
At the end of your turn.
Yeah, at the end of my turn. So I am going to blindly swing at the one in front of me.
Of all weapons to use when blind, I feel a flail is the best.
I just swing wildly, crazily in front of me. So Alright.
Why didn't you have blind fighter fighting style?
9.
Unfortunately, 9, you swing and you feel no resistance. You don't hear a yelp, and these things are chattering and chittering and giggling away.
Come here, you goddamn humbug bears! 14!
And you swing, and this time you feel it connect, and it yelps out.
Take that!
Ooh! You don't know what happened, but the other two are aware that was a big splat. This thing lost like one of its ears to that, and it does not look happy. It's still up, but it is very hurt.
You should see the other guy!
Jacques.
Well, I'm going to look at poor Natasha getting wailed on, and I'll cast Frostbite on this one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to Meta
It
Magic.
fails.
I'm going to Meta Magic and Twin Spell and hit this one.
Oh,
Twin
nice.
Spell.
Okay, so it does pass. 1. But the first one does hit.
Oh,
However, this thing definitely takes the full damage of it, and actually, it begins to turn its head to you as the ice creeps up, and then its neck snaps, and its heads fall down, and it dissolves into a little pile of dust.
Oh.
I can't see, I think I got one!
Okay, so, Chai, it's your turn.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm going to command Sultana to fly around here to meet it up to here,
Okay.
and then I will attack with my shillelagh.
Shillelagh!
Have at thee!
Ooh, a big shillelagh hit on this mephit. Yeah. Again, swinging around. These things are chump change, and you knock one of his big nose. You knock out of whack.
Oh, I'm going to give it another whack.
oh, it's a whack.
A critical. That first one was just testing the waters. This one's the real hit. You think that one would have just killed it outright if you'd done that first? You crack this thing's dusty ribs, and it splats, leaving dust across the wall.
So I will fly here, and I will use my bonus action to have him use his exceptional training and use his help action.
Oh, nice!
And
So that'll give advantage, right? Basically,
I'll give advantage to Natasha.
That's awesome. That's really good. Nice. Good job.
So I'm still blind.
It'll be straight now because it's with advantage from
that's true.
Sultana. It is the mephit's turn now. This one remaining mephit. Does it feel fear? Maybe. It's definitely still laughing though. These things are
Are they like gremlins?
exactly, yeah. It's gonna make a claw attack onto Sultana, I think. because he's the least armoured. 14?
14, it does not hit.
Oh, he swings up, but Sultana, he's been in a fight or two. He's a battle peacock. And so that's Natasha, that's your turn.
Okay.
You see, Sultana, you see, feel him pecking and pointing feathers for you. With his help of brightly coloured feathers, you think you can make out what's going on.
Get off me, bird. Okay, take a swing.
Oh, it hits! Nice. Ooh. This one's not been hit, unfortunately, but that was good damage. This thing, you knock one of its wings out, and it starts to teeter on the edge of being able to be in this fight.
I take everything back, bird. So my next one's a 1 anyway.
Okay.
So I swing and I'm like, ugh!
First we swing, and then you end up turned around.
I guess I slammed the coffin.
you put another crack in that coffin. You can now obviously repeat your save to be not blind.
Natasha's like, haha, it sounds like I really got him that time.
It just like hits the grave.
Exactly.
Hey.
You pass!
Oh.
Finally, you shake your head about, and the dust falls
You lift your goals up.
You just lift it for a second, and then put them back down, and you can see again.
Good.
Excellent stuff. These things are going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2. Okay, so now it is Jack, your turn.
In a classic Sam Smith maneuver, I've been ignoring one of the main things about my class.
Of course.
So I guess I'll do it this time if my move hits.
Of course.
Which it doesn't.
It doesn't hit. I'm sorry.
It's alright. I am my turn.
It's okay. Johnny, you're fully chuffed after hitting that thing with a big crit and really overkilling that one method.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling buff. I'm gonna say some juju magic words in Loxodon, and I'm gonna sort of wave my elephant quarterstaff, and then it sort of starts, as I'm shaking it, it slowly turns to a thorny whip.
Ooh.
I'm gonna cast Thorn Whip on the method.
Hold a whip.
There, it's 22. There
You do hit. You whip it good.
22.
I'll take your damage. 7 damage. This thing, from across through the smoke, a snipe. You take its other wing off, and it hits the ground with a crash and falls to nothing, and it is dead.
Yeah.
You feel peace come over you in this room, and you think it's probably safe. Okay, so yes, the smoke still is blowing back and forth, but you guys have the smarts to avoid it now that you're not in a combat situation. And yeah, the light is moving as normal.
I am feeling quite a bit weaker, but we should press on.
Yeah, there's an open door from which the smoke is building at the end of the room.
Yes, of course. I'm going to slide down it like a.
that's great. You also realise that the statue isn't there.
Oh.
Does the bell look the same, or
the bell isn't glowing anymore? And Drac, just being a smart guy, you notice that the statue is actually reset and has appeared behind you guys. You figured that you could definitely pull it back out and leave, but there's some magic juju going on around here.
Yeah.
Drac, could you make a insight check, please?
I certainly can make an insight check for you.
Sultana is plotting.
Well, you just you're thinking to yourself about what you know about the traditions and the celebration and all this, and you realise that the ringing of the main gate of Giftingham is part of the celebration, but there are 3 bells within the city that get rung. One is in the gate, as I say. One is just sort of in the town centre, and one is part of the sort of cathedral, a church, a large church, as opposed to a cathedral.
Yeah.
It does seem that we are recreating the journey. I mean, you guys had the vision as well.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
When we had the vision, was it just us on our own, or was
the methods were not there? Well, and you couldn't see your allies when you were there. No. It wasn't long enough for you to fully investigate, even if you were there.
Yeah.
The Chrimbo vision?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Sultana, did you have it as well? He did. Sultana nods his head. He's as smart as I am, so.
Great.
I have not seen you two in action before, but I have heard what you have done, and That was very impressive. You push little cart like a strong elephant of a man.
Well, thank you. I should, I got a knack for this manual labor kind of thing. This thing seems rather easy.
Oh, jeez. Well, you're meant to be a nice nobleman.
I
am
beginning to like you less and less.
Down with the bourgeoisie. Okay, so yeah, nothing is preventing you from either hanging out or going to the next room.
We should press on. There's only so many hours before my small boy has to wake up and get his presents.
Oh, yes.
Another little tunnel, not a long one, but completely pitch black, obviously, and Natasha, you can see it's a carved stone. This has definitely just been carved straight into the mountainside. And you definitely see as well that there isn't much light at all in the next room. There's something lighting it. For the people who don't have the dark vision right now, you can see the faintest of yellowish glows from the next room. You approach this new chamber, and you see the path cuts out and drops into a slowly flowing river, and the air is frigidly cold. It's freezing, this air. And you suspect that if you were to get into that water, you'd start taking some cold damage as well.
Oh no.
4 strong pillars rise up through the water and support the ceiling. The river flows through a grate on either side where ice is forming around it. And you see across the way another path that doesn't appear to be... It doesn't even look broken, to be quite honest. And you see a glow coming from the water. The glow is the outline of yet another bell. Looking up, the chain that it probably hung from has been snapped. And lying at the foot of this other tunnel is a cauldron from which the smoke appears to actually be flowing out of. No smoke comes from the other door, just from this cauldron. Again, this room is filled with the smoke, and there is more of this shifting smoke coming back and forth.
Oh.
So what we can piece together is the bell used to hang from the ceiling.
Used to hang from the ceiling, but something has broken, maybe over time. Hard to tell from without further investigation about why it's not there. Make a sort of perception check, just to see the depth.
Sure. Oof.
Big rolls tonight. It's a big bell, and it doesn't look that small, but so you'd think it's probably not too far down.
Chai is, anyone that sort of is standing sort of near him, he's warm.
He's warm.
He's warm to the touch, as he's got a ring on each hand, and one of them gives off a warmth to him.
That's very handy.
You have a very...
Is it cold? I didn't even know.
Didn't even know. He's looking at ice forming on the water. You do, looking at the ice as well, you think you could probably stand on it. It looks slippery, but it's thick enough to stand on, you reckon?
Jacques, you do pretty well with the cold, yes?
I can do, yeah. I would like to, just might as well, it's worth a try, no harm, no foul. I'm going to cast Shape Water and cast it here and start directing the water towards us.
You're sort of dragging it towards you to see...
Yes, just to see if the bell is any intention of moving.
Okay, so
it's not enough to cause damage. So
what happens, you do drag some of the water away, you sort of hold it at bay, and you uncover the bell. It appears to have been sort of stuck in some silt into the ground, so it's not going to budge. But you can figure out from that it's about 15 feet deep, this whole area.
Sure.
As you do that, only Chai, because you've got the superior hearing. Can you make a perception, please?
I've got superior smell.
No, well, you've got big ears. Give me a perception. Give me a perception.
I got loads of perception.
Oh, that's a good roll. Now, not good enough to hear words, but you hear through the other doorway, from which you now turn to look at more closely, because you see that there's a brighter yellow light coming from there, and you hear voices. You hear maybe an argument. 3 distinct voices: a shrill one, a sort of slower one, and a sort of one that you can barely hear at all, whispering almost. You can't really make out the words. It might not even be in common. And as you hear this, something begins to happen in the cauldron.
I hear voices and ambush music.
The cauldron starts to swirl more and more violently. In fact, some of the smoke that's been bellowing out is sucked back into it, and it shakes. It shakes quite violently for a minute, and then from it, something pops out. A huge, swirling creature with a green, glowing orb for an eye swirls out. So, let's roll some initiative again.
Okay.
Oh.
Again, you guys are familiar with some of the stronger things around. This is definitely some perverse air elemental. From where you're standing, it's beneath you.
Or the smoke.
Yeah, you are currently above it.
Okay, we're safe from the smoke standing here.
Yeah, it feels like all the space beneath you, though. Essentially, in the square that it's in.
Oh yes, that's sure.
And you do think if you were to go underwater, you'd probably be safe from it there as well.
Is it looking at us?
It's definitely looking
Big
at you, yes.
Oh, I will cast Warding Bond on Sultan. Looks like we're in for it, boy. How tall is the ring?
You are quite high up right now. I will. So you're about halfway up. So it's probably about another 15 feet up and 15 feet down.
Okay.
And then the water will be 15 feet deep from there. So total space 45, practical space 30.
Okay, I will have Sultana fly 15 feet up higher
Okay.
to the top of the, and have it take the dodge action. That's my go.
That's your full go. Okay. Jacques.
I guess, I mean, I don't know if it'd be worth it or not. I kind of want to just jump into the water and try and ring the bell.
Yeah.
In the first room, it was a golden staff. Maybe then they needed a key or something.
It's a fair point. Do you want to make a Arcana?
Sure.
Just because you're thinking about the magic. From what you guys could tell, and you're pretty well versed in sort of thing, the statue itself was not magical. It had magic acting on it, but you reckon there's a good chance if you ring it yourself, then that could have the same effect.
In that case, I am going to cast, just to make it a bit easier on myself, create or destroy water at 2nd level
Okay.
for free.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
going to destroy the water around it, and then I'm going to jump in.
Okay, how much water does it destroy? 10
20
gallons of
gallons.
water. Okay, that's... How much is that, do you think, in terms of squares?
I don't know. Water will come back in. It's more than just for the short term, really.
Yeah, you definitely, you jump down, you uncover it briefly again, water starts to flow back in within your turn, but yeah. From what you can tell, the clapper of the bell is like resting on the bottom, so you'd have to get down to it. You could do it underwater, you think how the sound, you're not sure how well the sound would like work, but you think if you get down there, you could definitely yank it up and ring it against the side, and that might do something.
Well, I've jumped down, and I'm going to use the rest of my movement to go towards it.
When you jump into the water, you feel it's freezing cold. Do you have like an ice cold resistance or anything?
Because when I cast a spell,
yeah,
I can expend a sorcery point to gain resistance to the damage type
okay,
for an hour of my elemental affinity.
So you're resistant to it, but you're not immune to
No.
damage. No. Okay, so jumping in the water, you're at home.
Even though I'm made of ice, yeah.
Well, you're a water, you're
water really.
Water Gensai, and you're specialised in this. But again, even you know,
it's cold.
What you probably think is if you actually got frozen solid, you wouldn't die. You'd just be frozen solid until you got thawed out a little bit,
which would be annoying. Which
would be very irritating. So you are going to take 2d6 frost damage.
Sure.
Nice. Ooh, but so we're right there. So half of the 7. Frost damagey.
Oh.
But you can feel that you can move fine in this. It's not the current again.
That was a real Minecraft.
Yeah.
Oof. But you're not going to get pushed down by the water.
Sure.
Too much. Okay. Is that yes your turn then? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
How far down was that?
So jumping into the water, it is a 15-foot drop, but the water itself is 15 feet deep. So you're not going to get hurt from jumping into it, apart from the fact it's cold. So you swim down as well, and you are now within arm's reach of the bell. So it's now the air elemental's turn, isn't it? Yes, it is. The air elemental flies across the room, ignoring Jacques, who has gone under the water, and sort of buffeting these swirling clouds as it goes by, and it's going to enter you guys' square, and it's going to use its whirlwind ability.
Whoa.
So can you guys... not Sultana, he's above it currently, but can you guys make a strength saving throw, please?
Okay.
Oh, I flex my elephant muscles.
Oh, they're so flexed.
So strong! Oh, nice! You feel it's trying to throw you from the platform into the water, maybe even into these pillars. So you guys do take the 3d8 plus 2, but halved.
It's potentially spicy.
It's potentially spicy. not when I'm wrong. 10. So you guys take the 5 damage each as you take a good stance and you manage to just be pushed back like an inch from the centre. So it's going to slam you both once each.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
Slam
Raj.
on Raj. Oh, on Raj.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, what have you done?
I'm too busy holding my turban in place.
Holy turn, and there's a big chunk of ice is flying around on this thing, and it's glowing with this elemental energy. So it's a big sort of air smoky fist slams this big chunk of ice into you, and you take a big sock of damage.
Jesus
Christ.
I'm okay.
Oh, good lord.
Whatever, it is your turn. You are within this maelstrom, but you're holding firm.
I'm going to, as a bonus action, I am going to activate my Hill Giant rune on my chest plate.
Sure.
As I run my hand over it, it begins to glow the runes. I now get resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for a minute.
I like it. I like it.
And I will then, as my action, I will take 2 swings at this cloud just swirling around me.
Sure, yeah.
Trying to just swing at whatever seems thing. Trying to maybe go for the glowing eye.
There's an eye. It has a sort of a form, but yeah, it's going to be a difficult thing to swing at, but we'll see.
I really don't wish to go into the water.
Ooh, very good. You make a strong attack against it. It has this sort of horrified, twisted face, and you swing through that, and it spits out a smoky tooth for a second before it throws it back.
The big CGI face.
13.
13, very nice. It definitely felt that. The silvering of your weapon flaring up. I imagine silvered weapons are sort of, like pattern welded in a way, and the silvered lines glow slightly as it makes contact.
That's fun. I get to make my second attack, multi-attack.
Yes.
17.
That hits as well. Again, following through with the momentum.
Max damage.
Very
Double
good.
max damage.
That's a
big hits.
That's a potent hit. That's very
Would
good.
have been even better if my strength was still 20.
Yeah, you'd have even more. That's so annoying. It's still holding its shape pretty well, but you've done some good digging into it.
I'd also like to say in that last room I was very scared about because I went down to 17 strength.
Yeah.
If I would have got strength drained again, I would have not been able to wear my armor.
Oh god, that's true. Actually, yeah. Oh. I would have appreciated you reminding me of that rule as well.
Yeah, I was very panicking in my head.
Top one makes 1 square to the left, and the other one makes 3 squares to the right. Shy, it is your turn.
Oh, okay. As I've been pummeled with a big icy fist, I am going to stand my ground. I'm going to plant both my feet in, and I'm going to take a big meditative breath, and I'm going to become tireless. Oh! I gain 13 temporary hit points.
You redouble efforts, you stand firm, you take a deep breath, you take your trunk out of the air elemental, take a deep breath, and go back in.
Like a snorkel.
Yeah.
And that's my action. Bonus action, I will command Sultan to attack the air elemental.
Okay, sure. Ooh, that does hit. And unlike the shadows, you feel it's not making quite as much movement as it might be doing, but it's definitely picking out little bits and pulling bits out.
Sultana has flyby, so
Okay.
Sultana moves. It does not take opportunity attacks.
Ah, very nice, very
I'll
nice.
move Sultana on the water's edge.
Okay, cool. Jacques, you are underwater. The light from this bell is making it difficult to see anything else right now, in fact.
I'm obviously going to reach out and ring a ding ding that bell.
Okay, you grab one of it, you reach down, you pull up the clapper, again moving slowly in the water, but you strike it as hard as you can against the top, and a clear ringing sound comes out, and again, everything goes black for a second. You have an interesting view of this, Jacques, from underwater. You see a dwarven figure jumping into the water next to you, and it steps past you. You can't see him too clearly as it's dark, and you can't quite tell what's going on, but he's holding something above his head, and you popping your head above the waterline, you see him scrabbling up a cliff edge. Not a tall cliff, but he's dragging again this huge bag.
For a dwarf.
Yeah, well, exactly. And from the bag is falling not food this time, but there's money, and you can tell there's like materials and tools.
Ah.
You all see this as well. Again, from your perspective, Natasha, you see you're on a riverbank, and he's wading through this quite fast flowing river, dragging this stuff above his head. And as soon as his vision happens, it's gone again. The elemental is still there, and the light from the bell is fading now that it has been rung. So you reckon that after your next turn, it's going to be dark in here, like complete black. Apart from the light, the faint light from the next room.
Okay.
Oh, and you do take another 2d6 cold because you're still underwater.
I'd probably do movement to get back up to the surface.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that. Oh, it's cold.
Oh, it's a bit nippy.
You're feeling your movements are slowing a little bit. Like, oh, okay. It doesn't hurt physically, but it's kind of making you a bit tired. You're feeling a bit sleepy from it. It is the elemental's turn, and it is going to first see if it recharges. It's whirlwind ability.
Oh, God.
4 to 6 on a d6.
Well, that's very common.
Ooh, it fails. It's taken some damage. It's not regaining its composure as well as it would like. It is still going to make a slam attack on both of you. This time you guys are ready. You're twirling your course off, banging away the debris, and you're holding steady. So Natasha, it's your turn.
I will not be defeated by a fart.
So, no.
Oh, there's powerful words.
Oh, the children! It's Chrimbus!
I'm really in it. I don't think I can shove it because it's incorporeal wind.
It's got a core, but it flies is its movement. So if you shove it, it won't fall off or anything.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that maybe I could. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna use a bonus action.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make an athletics check because I have Shieldmaster.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and slam its core.
Right. Yeah.
northwards.
Okay. And it'll resist with Dex because it's gonna move its stuff around. It has got good Dex, but yeah.
10.
Oh, only just.
Beat me.
You make you jump up and you swing your shield to try and knock the glowing eye away, but it definitely is trying to avoid that getting hit specifically.
Okay, I noticed that, and I am going to make my attack action.
Okay.
Both of my morning stars swinging at it, trying to flail around, much like I was earlier at the at the gremlin-y creatures.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out now if you're flanking it or not.
I don't think so. It's
No, you're
not inside.
But you hit it twice. You swing out. Now that you understand where it can be hit, you kind of can't miss it.
I keep rolling max damage on my lowered strength.
Still good.
Still good. Still very good.
This thing is it's burning bright and burning fast. It's definitely not looking as good as it could do, but it's still coming at you. Chai.
Oh, yes. I will bonus action cast Shillelagh, and then I will swing twice at the foul beast. This putrid air.
You create your own whirlwind with your quarterstaff. That first does not hit, unfortunately. You swing around, but it has survival instincts. And the second one as well.
I'm gonna put my back against the wall.
Okay.
Natasha seems to know what she's doing.
That's fine. Jacques, 'tis ye.
I'm gonna swim over to yonder and climb up here.
Okay, you're onto the ice. You don't have to take damage because you've finished your turn not in it, so that's fine.
I'm gonna move up to here so I'm not in the way of this.
As you pass the cauldron, it is now empty.
It's just there's nothing in it.
There's nothing in it anymore. No.
Okay, sure. I am going. A lot of my spells would not be great because there'd be lots of collateral, basically. So.
This is where you say "Have a nice day" and just walk away, leaving us to.
No, I'll cast Frostbite on it and try and give it disadvantage on its attack.
Yeah, that works.
So.
I like that spell. I've never seen that spell before.
It's from the elemental evil, the very first on Earth Arcana.
But I've just never looked at it. Like I've always seen it in the list, but never actually clicked it.
You frost up again along onto its core, in fact, with this eye in the center, but it doesn't seem to affect it too much.
I guess I'll end my turn. I don't know what much else I can do.
Shame.
Shame.
It's gonna roll to see if it recharges its whirlwind. It recharges. But it's not going to do that until it slams you twice. Poor Raj. Oh my god! Raj, I can only apologise.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, it's fair. I crit you all the time.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, only 20. You're fine.
Rod min.
Exactly.
That's all my temporary hit points gone.
Gone. And it's now going to use its whirlwind as well. Try and fling you guys from the bridge here. Make a strike!
Okay. Come on, Natasha.
Just pass it.
Just barely. I'm just barely.
Natasha fails. First, you both take 3d8 plus 2. And Natasha, you are flung 20 feet. I will say you're flung 15 because you're sort of flung like that. So you're going to go 15 feet this way, but you are going to hit the wall a bit.
Okay.
and you begin to fall into the water.
It's banking. It's doing a bank shot.
Yeah.
Bend it like Beckham.
So you take a deep...
Bend it like Trigger, you mean?
Yeah, like Trigger, my favourite King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword character. You take 3 damage of bludgeoning from the wall, which your armour would reduce, So nothing from that.
Heavy on master. Bam!
Noise! I would say you got to make a dexterity throw, but you're going to land in water.
Yeah. I don't know if I can swim.
Yeah, we'll get to that. In fact, it's your turn now, and you hit the water and you sink. You are 15 feet at the bottom. There's 10 feet of water above you. You can hold your breath a good amount of time, but you are underwater and very cold as it bites. Ooh, your armor itself is conducting some of this cold.
God damn it! And you say it's 15 foot deep. Okay. As a bonus action, I'm going to activate all my runes.
Okay.
And I am going to do giant might, and I am going to grow large.
Oh, very
under
nice.
The water, but I'm going to grow large under the water, and then I'm going to try to swim up.
Okay.
And I now have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. And I'm big.
So you're large now, so you can, on your tiptoes, you can poke your head above the water, just underneath where the smoke is, so you're not in the smoke, but you're not submerged anymore.
Gotta get up, so I'm
Be
gonna...
Natasha.
Yes.
I shall live!
Nice ref.
And I'm gonna go this way, try and get to the ice. Could I use my action to dash?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
And potentially move there and then climb up?
I would say that you could stand on this little edge, Like, you could stand like that.
Okay.
Sort of clench
I'd do
the Titans, you're rising up, you're on the edge, you climb up.
Yeah, I'd rush and dash and start climbing up. You think
you
you could get rid of me so easily?
You see Natasha get flung, scraping against the wall, armour like sparks flying off, splash, silence for a few seconds, and then a glow.
Just rising up.
Crashing from the water. The Russian! So the smoke will move on its turn, which is now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sultana is face to face with a big swirling cloud of smoke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Jai, it's your turn.
And the light's gone out.
The light has now gone out, It's now dark. Like pitch black.
Cool. Alright.
But you can hear. Well, and I'd say that like that Natasha's like runes are giving off a. You can see where Natasha's at because of that, but yeah, you're gonna have disadvantage.
She's also laughing maniacally.
Sultana has dark vision, and Sultana can see the door. It's just like a stone door on the other.
There's not even a door. It's another tunnel.
Oh, it's not a door.
There's a light coming from the other tunnel.
There's light coming from it, so we can just walk through it.
You can fly through. It's up. It's 15 feet up, so Sam would have to climb up or jump up somehow or something. Climb up, just like Chrimbo did.
Sultana's going to fly
Climb
down.
up the chimney.
Exactly. Is he up now?
Yes, he is up. I'm going to command Sultana to make an attack using my action.
Shred. That hits. You shred. You get your claws in, attacking the weak core. In the centre of it doesn't really move too much at all, you think. And again, it's resisting a lot of the physical damage, but it is doing something. Little bits of smoke are flying off and dissipating, and it's not quite regenerating quite as easily as it has been.
I will attack myself.
Sorry?
I'm going to, as part of that attack action, I'm going to do that.
Oh, I see. You yourself will attack. Yes.
In addition.
Yes.
Unfortunately, 11 does not hit, no.
Can I climb onto Natasha's shoulders?
Technically, you can ride a creature that's bigger than you, but then Natasha could only take the dodge, disengage, or dash action on her turn.
Okay.
That's just how mounted combat works.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna jump down.
You're jumping off.
Yes, I'm gonna jump off and into this onto that.
Oh, onto the ice.
Ice floe.
So you leap down and crack. You feel the ice definitely creaking underneath your weight. I think it does get an opportunity attack on you.
Yeah.
So it's going to slam you. 12, that doesn't hit you.
Oh,
no,
gorgeous, yes. And then as a bonus action, I'll have Sultana make the last attack as his own exceptional capabilities.
Nice. Oh yeah. The Sultana. This thing is looking. It's getting down. 1,000 cuts. That's what this is.
I saw you look at me. And I only carry my useless sack of a husband upon my back every day.
He loves
It's
it.
enough weight to bear.
Yeah.
Sergey's the worst.
Sergey's the mayor. I don't even know if that's true. I'm gonna roll for Sergey's social standing on a D100. Give me
Sergey the
D100.
the weasel.
D100. How high up is he? He's pretty good in terms of his social standing. He's upper middle class.
Yes, he knows what an abacus is, but not a morning star.
Sergey shops at the delicatessen.
He goes to Waitrose.
He goes to Waitrose. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
I am a little girl.
You can get a whole Serrano there. Jacques, it is your turn.
It is. Well, you said it's pitch black, so I literally can't see over there.
No, you cannot see anymore.
That limits what I can do.
That's a fair point.
A decent amount. I can't really do anything. I guess I could just swim over there.
Get some dancing lights on.
Yeah, I'll put dancing lights.
You know where it is. So if you wanted to make like an AoE attack, you would be able to hit it, for example, because you know it's still there.
Its eye glows as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, the eye is glowing, so you can identify where, and Natasha's glowing. You basically can't see like your environment around you.
I have a spell that has a 5-foot radius sphere.
You should
Stand on the
you
point.
could cast it and only hit it. I think. Yeah,
Okay, sweet.
if you just cast it like that, yeah, that'd be fine.
It's time for Snillock Snowball Swarm.
Oh, no. I mean, oh yes.
Yes.
yes, it's time for Snillock.
You breathe your draconic sorcerer's heritage, you breathe out some ice, you shape it in your hands into a snowball, you chunk it up and it explodes down these snowball swarms, and it's going to try and dodge at you. It will take damage regardless, though. Oh, it does pass. It's good at dodging about, but yeah, it takes the 3d6.
It is air.
And it does not resist it.
Thumbs
So
up.
that's good. So what do I do for
Hey.
that's some damage.
Oh,
Nearly max.
Very good damage.
You see the little shards of ice and snowballs shattering and knocking the core of it around. It's kind of being beaten down, like how smoke gets beaten down by rain. This thing is not looking good. It is its turn, however. It's going to try again to recharge its whirlwind. Whirlwind. It recharges it.
You've got to be kidding me.
It is actually going to shift, because it has a sort of amorphous body. It's going to shift here. It's kind of at your feet, Tasha, and it's in your like head type.
It's diagonal. We're in a diagonal.
Yeah. So it'll hit both of you with a whirlwind. It is only going to slam Natasha though on its way past. You are clearly the bigger threat, literally bigger threat. And also, Chai's done nothing. He can't even see right now.
I can't see.
Chai's done nothing wrong.
Is Sultana in it?
Sultana's up, right?
Sultana's level with the...
Oh, so Sultana would be in it as well. So he's going to slam Chai. And he's going to slam Natasha.
Oh, that hits.
Ooh.
What's your AC, Shai?
Mine is 17.
17. I'll use my reaction to give you +2 AC.
Very nice. Once again,
Oh.
Natasha looming over. He strikes the shield, the rune glows up, and you feel protected from this sudden swooping down elemental. However, I
Do
think...
not touch Chai.
Does the 21 hits you, I see?
21 hits me square in the
Yeah,
face.
so, well, you know, Natasha, she's doing all she can to protect her teammates and puts herself in the line of fire here. Takes 14 bludgeoning. Whirlwind! So you guys can make a strength save. And including Sultana.
Sultana, okay.
Strength save.
Me?
Oh, Charlie! You're used to this.
Oh, nice.
Natasha's fine.
I'm a champ.
Sultana fails.
Oh.
Sultana failed and is flung 20 feet into this pillar.
Oh!
Crack. And thus you all take, and you guys half, Sultana does not. Not much, don't worry about it. And also, Sultana takes... So 6 damage on Sultana. So 14 bludgeoning.
Okay, so...
That's halved because you're currently sharing health, but then
we are warning blood.
You feel Sultana's pain as his light body is flown across the room and flung through the clouds, but luckily it right through them, all the way to the other side. That would have been bad.
That could have been very bad.
That would have been annoying.
That could have been a snooker right there.
Sasha, it's at your feet now. It is sort of forming around this bridge.
No, you come back here. I'm gonna make 2 attacks. Do I get flanking now that I'm huge?
You know what? Yeah, because it's fighting both of you and it's kind of beneath you. So yeah, sure.
Okay. So this would be with advantage. And my attacks now do an extra d6 because I am big. 25.
It does hit, yes.
Bam. 9 and then extra d6. Come on, Mama.
Ooh, you swing down, you crack through it. It's falling apart. Only the smoke is fading, and it's just being held together around its core now.
Alright, I swing right for the core with my second attack. Come on, little guy.
That hits. Roll damage. I think you can't. Yeah. Okay.
Also the D6.
And the big damage while you're at it. Why not?
Bam.
You swing down and you actually take out a chunk of the bridge while you're at it, and this thing dissipates into nothing, and the eye falls into the water. Dead. And as that happens, the smoke in the room begins to sort of fade out. It moves a little bit and then disappears. That appears to have been the source, the literal source, of the cursed mist.
Cool.
Oh.
I'm going to pull out from my my rucksack a lantern, and I'm going to light it,
Okay.
and I'm going to carry it around in my trunk.
Sure.
While I'm big, I'm going to desperately try to cross the room.
Okay, sure. So are you just jumping?
To try and get to where the pillars are.
Yeah. Because you can make it across, jumping from the ice to ice without
I
having to
can
go into the
step
water.
across.
That's true, yeah. You sort of bring over. The ice is definitely creaking underneath your increased mass, but by moving quickly and going through, you're not gonna. Yeah, you don't have to make any checks about jumping over.
And then I'll shrink.
I will do the same. I'll hop across. Okay, I can make those jumps.
So you're now all standing at the bottom of this little ledge. Who's got the highest passive perception?
I've got 20 passive.
I've got 20. Okay.
I have 9, so I think I've gone deep.
Fittingly, Chai, you hear those voices again. They sound angry, as they did before, but now it's a little bit more... Just out of interest, what languages do you speak?
I speak quite a few. I speak Common, Loxton, Elvish, Dwarvish, and Gnomish.
It's none of those.
Ugh, damn.
Taking a look, this is a cauldron. Does it, this is what babushkas use to cook in.
Do an investigation on it. Which,
Yeah.
with advantage, because you guys are all looking at it.
I shall take a look then. I am very smart.
-1.
From what you can tell, it's an empty cauldron. It's quite large, probably about 2 feet across. It seems surprising that all that smoke was coming out of it. It's a sort of pitted, not rusty, but definitely a well-used old cauldron that appears to have been left or chucked down here, or... Yeah.
I do not think they would take something so haphazard for Tomb of the Great Chrimbo.
He was a humble man, Chrimbo.
Yes, but the servants of his were not.
That is definitely true from what you've seen so far. And,
Yeah.
and the Festival of Chrimbus has become more and more lavish and less to do with his saintly acts than it was in the past.
The Festival of Chrimbo is all about cooking up a big goose.
Yeah, exactly.
My husband bought me this, and I pull out my 4 perfume that I got.
Oh, nice.
What a useless gift from a useless man. And I throw it in the water.
Oh,
He does not know.
that's not the Chrimbus spirit.
Yeah, you know, it's the thought that counts, Natasha.
And I said thank you and everything.
Fair enough.
Cauldron belonged to old women and bad babushka. You know the witches?
Yes.
Could... again, Jack, you're a studious man. Do you want to make a history check, please?
A history?
Yeah.
Sure.
Ooh. So you definitely know that witches, hags, have a sort of tendency to hate people having a good time and being happy. And there's all the motive they would need is that people are enjoying themselves. But again, you've never heard of a hag having this sort of power at their command.
Yeah, no, totally. This would be quite unprecedented.
They certainly dream big.
Yeah, they like to think they can do it, but that's concerning.
Chai, you kind of, after a bit, notice the voices seem to have stopped, or at least have calmed down. You can't really hear anything anymore.
Oh, they've whoever was out there seems to have. We should make our move now.
Oh yes, sorry.
I've got a grappling hook that I can try and throw up there. I start twirling it, and as I look about to throw it, I drop it down to the ground and ask Sultana to pick it up and carry it to the top.
Excellent. Very good. Sultana does as you command. It's not many places for it to hook on. It's a staircase up there. You think maybe Jacques could do it? Again, light guy, he could probably scramble up it. For you two, it might be a little trickier. Maybe when he's up there, he can help out, though.
You seem quite injured as well, Shai. Do you need a potion or anything?
I've got a potion on me. I can down one now. Only small ones. I'm on a diet.
I've got a slightly larger potion if you feel like that diet isn't so important given the circumstances.
I'm gonna put my trunk to one of my pockets. I'm gonna flick open a health potion and I'll drink that.
Well, I have this 6-pack right here. This is a good gift from my useless husband.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I'm gonna drink one of my small ones. Might as well
Yeah.
top up.
I'm gonna definitely hand Chai a greater one.
Okay. Oh,
it is
well.
Chrimbo's anyway, you should indulge.
Yes, I'd be a fool not to accept such a gift.
And I am gonna drink one of my normal ones as well.
Jack, could you make a perception, please?
Sure.
You hear in Primordial
Oh,
something is being whispered, too quiet to hear exactly, but then you hear something respond, "Shut up!"
Oh!
ugh.
Quite loudly. You all hear the scream, but only Jack
Whoa.
understands.
They're definitely arguing. One of them told the other to shut up. Bit rude.
Right, let's try and get up there. I press my back against the staircase, and I take my hands into like the foot up position.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting for
Toss me!
yeah, waiting for Chai. Come on, Chai.
Oh yes. Okay. Well, I played this game before, and I plant one of my feet.
You have the luxury of time, and, you'll be able to get them all up there.
I'd use my ring of jumping.
Nice. Very
Oh,
good.
heck yeah.
Jack just hops up like it's nothing.
It's so spry. Amazing.
I'll help pull you up with my -1 strength.
You're pretty spry for an ice guy.
Amazing.
I mean, I guess you would just take that at face value and say, "Oh, thanks."
In this next tunnel, it becomes pretty clear that you're not going to have a difficulty seeing in the dark in this next room, because it is the brightest lit by far. Golden light. It's almost hard to see what's in there because of how much things are shining.
I guess I should pull out my spyglass at some point as well that I spent 1,000 gold on.
You could look down the tunnel with it if you want. It's a straight
Yeah,
tunnel.
I'll look down the tunnel with my spyglass.
Okay, no, sure. You can see what looks like the feet of a big statue standing on a golden pedestal. And so the statue looks like it's made of gold as well.
Gold?
In fact, it looks like the floor's made of gold.
Very ornate.
Very shiny. Okay, so are you guys gonna head forwards here?
I think
Yeah.
we will.
Some figures are lingering behind this statue, and it's otherwise a gaudy but bare room. Tools, much like the ones you saw that had been defacing the tombs in the first room, lie broken at the foot of the statue, which is unscathed. You can see a glow being held by something behind the statue, which is clearly of Chrimbo himself.
Yes.
The three figures, two of them appear and are thrown from the side. Two women in robes onto the floor, and the third, about 8 foot tall, gangly, monstrous creature comes across with a forked staff, pinning them all to the ground,
Oh!
and whispers, "Throw down your weapons, and no one gets hurt," and bears a clawed hand above the two on the floor.
How are they looking? They look
Could you
scared, fearful.
make a perception?
My basic perception.
They're complying, and they just look like people. They're just ladies. They look like they're definitely just sort of going along with what's going on, but they are also being held down by a giant, scary person. So,
Are you the ones responsible for this billowing smoke?
throw down your weapons now.
Looks into camera. I love my weapon.
I throw down my stuff as well.
Yeah, Jacques will drop his machete to the floor.
This machete is sick. He's been using that a lot.
Drops his
Yep.
whip.
Much more civilized. You can come in now if you'd like. And she sort of beckons you forth, still holding these people down.
No, we kept the pirate of the bargain. Let them go.
Since you've been so kind as to cooperate, you may have one. And she sort of lets go one of them, who sort of gets up quite calmly and starts walking slowly towards you guys.
Looks into camera.
Do you want to make Jack? Do you want to make a history check?
Sure. Ugh.
You definitely know this is a hag of some sort that you're faced with here.
Yeah.
But no, you don't know any other useful information right now. And this one takes another step forwards. Thank you for saving me. And she sort of looks
It's my pleasure.
quite bored.
Why are you here?
Yes.
The bells, the jingle bells of Chrimbus. Such a pain, such a bore. But, well, maybe we can come to some sort of agreement.
This one lets the other one go.
In the spirit of the holiday.
And she starts walking around to the side. This one is now next to you and sort of is reaching out to you and sounds like, oh, thank you so much.
I really dislike them.
And it begins to sort of like, going in for a hug.
Hug to us.
Not while I'm on duty.
Do they bear any... Do they bear a resemblance to the civilians of Giftingham?
Looking closer at them, they look identical.
Oh.
I guess I wouldn't lean into the hug, but I wouldn't be suspicious. Well, I guess we could just pick up our weapons. Like, let go of the hostage.
As this one starts moving around further, and as you go to pick up your weapons, the one that's trying to give you a hug says, "No!" And something quite strange happens. Their body sort of distorts and they stretch out and they become another hag. And then the third one says,
"Oh, what are you going to do that for, you idiot?"
And the third one turns also into a hag.
Oh no!
And we'll roll initiative.
Oh no!
Oh, with my perception for the room, I think. Are there any bells in this room?
Do you think there's one? Do you think Chrimbo's got one on his statue behind him?
Chrimbo's got one. Okay.
There's a lot of matchups.
Oh, it's evenly spread.
It's evenly spread. Ooh, perfect.
That's
Like
pretty,
XCOM.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
walking
good.
on. So first
Right.
turn goes to Nostasha. This thing has suddenly is trying to reach out and grab at you now.
Oh.
You notice this one has got this yellow robe. Doesn't appear to have anything special about its gear though.
I reach behind me and I pull out my second weapon that was behind my back.
Very nice.
I pull out I technically would have had my flail, so my Morning Star now. And then as my bonus action, I am going to activate my Giant Might again.
Okay, sure.
You're the ones who've been messing with Chrimbus.
You push her back as you rise up. And the one in front of you is suddenly shocked and taken aback, stumbles over a bit.
You never mess with a mama grizzly if you're going after her kitty's Christmas. I am going to then take 2 Morningstar attacks, as always.
Okay, sure.
Bam bam.
Bam Bam, my favourite Flintstones character.
15.
That first one, she catches in her hand and throws it back at you, but you spin around, hit her in the face, and it sort of cracks her neck to the side a bit as it hits. On contact with the skin, the silver lining in your weapons flares up slightly, and you can tell that that would have been resisted if it was not so magical.
Okay.
She screams out.
I swing, and then
Sure.
I am going to move.
Okay, you spin around. The one here,
Yes, no one escapes Natasha Novosibirsk.
the one next to you, this one here, shouts,
Get them freer! Show them who's boss!
this one, the one in yellow, what is she gonna try and do? But she's looking at you and you're armoured up, and she brings her hands together and she casts Magic Missile. And all 3 darts on you. From her, so some guaranteed magic missiles fly out of her hands straight at you.
No, not the face.
How does that feel?
Oh, right in the face.
She will probably move around you as well to not
The
be
old
quite so
Ringa
close.
Rosie.
Yeah.
Sandwich.
Yeah. Okay, so that is her turn. It is you, Chai.
As a bonus action, I will make a sort of a tri-beam style hand gesture
Okay.
and aim it at the one in red, or the closest one to us. I will cast Hunter's Mark on her. Is my staff on the floor next to me?
Yeah. You just dropped it at your
Yes.
feet.
Okay. So yes, I'll pick it up as I move, run over, and whack her.
As you run up to this one, you notice that she has a black shiny gem on her chain, or on her belt.
When you run with your staff, do you do that thing where you hold it behind you?
Yeah, so I will strike twice.
That misses. It just bounces off her back.
I swing again.
That hits. You swing into one of the bony ankles and sort of it buckles slightly under the weight. After hitting, you kind of feel like that sort of swept her feet from under her, but she seems unnaturally dense almost. So it is her turn. Freela, the yellow one, shouts,
Watch your back, Crampler, you idiot!
and then Crampler responds,
Don't call me an idiot!
And how far are they apart from each other? They're decently close. She turns briefly to the other two and holds out her hands, and they all murmur for a second, and she turns back, holding her hands in this sort of Kamehameha stance I've drawn her with, and is going to cast Hold Person on you. Or at least going to try to. You pass, as the effect does nothing, and she looks furious and lets out just a shriek. Okay, so it is Jacques. It's your turn.
Okie dokie. I'm gonna move over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at this one, stare it down, and then I'm gonna pull out the Wand of Wonder.
Oh yeah, Wonder. Okay.
Oh, wonder.
Do you want to roll a D100 then? I guess.
Sure.
You bring out your wand and 26. What does that do?
I cast Stinking Cloud.
Stinking cloud.
Oh,
Okay, what does
Right on
that
top of
do?
Stinking Cloud's a good spell.
Yeah.
Stinking cloud.
A 20-foot radius sphere of nauseating gas set on the point of in range.
Okay.
Wait, 20
20
foot
foot is
radius?
huge.
It's
Did you say 20 foot radius?
20 foot
It's so
encompasses all
big.
That's all of us.
it's this entire room.
Oh god.
Just run up, point your wand, and a fart noise comes out.
He looks at it like, I've never used it before. What? Stinking Cloud has happened.
Okay, so I've got to make. A lot of people have got to make Constitution saves. Is that what I'm understanding?
Is that the start of your turn? So,
I guess I can just get rid of it quite easily then.
If it becomes an issue, but it could be good.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep concentration on it. Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Okay, so the Whispering Witch is currently obscured, so I guess you can't see where she is technically. Let me just see if there's anything useful in the Coven spell list for this.
Well, first you need to see if she's being sick.
Yep.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Constitution. If I fail, then they just roll around on the floor being sick, right?
Yep.
Oh Christ!
register.
Oh my God! You hear a rasping as something in there is having a difficult time with this horrible spell. Can they move? Can they do any? Oh my!
They can move. It's only their action, so they spend their action retching and reeling.
No, so they can move out of it if they want to.
Okay. She'll probably do that. She'll probably burst forth from the cloud right next to you.
Oh, stinks of
Covered in vomit.
sprouts.
But she's used her action and she looks very upset. And she's holding this weird fork staff thing. It appears to be made out of a similar metal to what the pot was, so you get more pitted iron. Anyway, that's her turn. She can't do anything. She's used her action. Natasha, you got to make a con save.
Yes, I do. I have advantage.
Nice.
I think.
From your various things.
Yeah.
Ooh.
18.
I think you
50.
pass.
It's all good.
Okay.
Now, it is obscuring still, so you
I'm
are...
gonna leave the miss.
Okay, that
So
seems
attack of
fair.
opportunity.
Oh yeah, you would, but with disadvantage, right? A claw attack. As you move away, you're easier to see, but a 10 won't. Yeah, really, he just scratches over your sabatons, your leg armor.
Alright, I am then going to, as a bonus action, I'm going to activate the rune on my shield, which is my Hill Giant rune, and my strength score increases by 2.
Oh, very nice.
So that means I'm back to 19.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 2 of my now meteor swings right at her with the
Onto Freelia.
onto Freya. Oh!
A big swing. A big hit.
Big hit.
That
Crit.
hits.
Oh! And then also the D6 crits.
Nice.
You double all the dice.
Yeah, you do. You double all the dice. A big, powerful, not resisted swing flies across. Again, cracking one of the horns jutting up from his head. Not taking it all the way off, but doing decent damage. Source that's 14, is that?
It's actually plus another 2 damage because I have dueling.
If I could see, I'd applaud you.
You've done good.
And then I get to make a second swing.
That doesn't hit, I don't think.
Okay.
I think AC 17. It is Freela's turn. How is the distance? Ooh. As Freela's moved out of this cloud and Grilla has moved out of the cloud in this direction, you kind of feel like the smoke the magic that's been surrounding them seems to get a little weaker. You suspect that their coven abilities do not work when they are this far apart, which she can definitely sense. So she's looking a bit wary now. So she is going to try and cast onto you, Natasha. She's going to cast Ray of Enfeeblement.
Oh shit!
Ooh!
19 went off. Oh.
In a panic, she jumps out of the cloud, attempts to make you a bit more useless with your strength. However, is you block it with your magical shield and runes. You're fine. Freela is, however, she's not in a good spot for running away either.
No, she's pretty hemmed in.
This cloud is so clutch,
It's so big.
Such a stupid thought. Because I was looking at the Wonder like things that can happen. Like half of them are bad for the user.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You think we're stuck in here with you? You are stuck in here with us.
Oh jeez. I guess she could move back into it, but she's not going to deliberately suffer to help her comrades. She's a horrible hag. So it is Chai's turn.
Okay, I am retching. Well, I'm not retching. I have to make a con save at the start of my turn.
Do you have an incredibly keen sense of smell?
I do. I have a very keen sense.
You're having a great time in there. Oh no.
I was Blanche enjoyed the
Superman
smell.
the first day under the yellow sun.
That poor trunk.
It's gonna rot and fall off and die like an alien.
That passes because it's a 15 for the project. And Sultana will make their one. Oh no! Sultana's retching! Oh! So, I will sort of stick my trunk out of the cloud and speak through my nose and tell Sultana to walk out of it. I can't see it.
Sultana breaks free of the cloud. Yeah, you can't see when you're in the cloud, so you can't... I mean, presumably you probably know that this hag is still here,
because I was right next to them anyway.
But yeah, you're effectively blinded inside.
Cast Shillelagh. So yes, I will swing twice with disadvantage.
Come on, get up.
A miss. You swing, it passes above her head with disadvantage. Yeah, completely blind. As you swing around, you hit the base of the statue here, which you suspect is probably actually where Chrimbo is entombed, underneath the statue. Inside the cloud, it's quite a sort of apocalyptic look. There's sort of green gas swirling around, being illuminated by this bright yellow glow from the bell.
You've been like in my favourite movie, Kong Skull Island.
It's like in your favourite movie, Kong Skull Island, or your favourite movie, the Godzilla one, where they jump through the clouds, and it's all very... It's much like that, but greener.
And it smells of Brussels sprouts.
And it smells really bad.
And I'm gonna move as well.
Okay, they will get an opportunity, but so they will attempt to hit you, but with disadvantage as well.
I love how this has kind of turned into 3 1v1.
Yeah.
16 misses.
She swings out what would have been a perfect strike at your neck. You luckily avoid, and she's left stumbling around in the smoke alone. That's your turn.
Okay. That would have been the 3rd crit on you, Chai.
Yeah. Crit central.
You hear from within the cloud the shrill voice of Crampler, I believe. Yes, Crampler.
What have you done? Come back here, you!
And she has to make a con save as she starts talking, breathing in this gas. How's she going to do? Not well. And as she just, come back here! and starts choking and coughing. And she's gonna... You know what? I'm gonna roll a scatter die to see which direction she runs out of this gas. Because I like scatter die.
Heck yeah.
I guess you guys can't really see where she is, so I'm gonna put her on the GM layer.
Yeah.
Now that you've moved away from her, but she's gonna move her full movement... as far as you can tell from listening, away.
Okay.
Away from you, further in, but possibly...
I'm coming for you! I'm coming! Where have you gone?
The voice gets more... and the coughing gets more and more distant. Christ. Okay, Jack, it is your turn.
All my stuff is really big AoE stuff, so I can't really...
You reckon you could probably target like the statue and hit it, because that's like a big sort of shadowy glowing thing in the smoke.
And we also do we heard her running kind of around here.
Yeah, so you know she's like within this area.
Might hit that target as well.
Depending on how big your AoEs are.
They're quite big.
They're big.
Well, yeah, if you were down one, you could always target it like up here.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, why not? I'll just if I do it like there, that'll be okay, and it'll probably hit just a 20-foot radius.
Well, if it's 20-foot radius, it wouldn't hit Raj if you put it like
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
'cause it's
Yeah.
a circle, it's not a
I'll
big
put it
square.
there, and then it'll probably hit the other one in there. I'm gonna ice storm.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Okay.
cool. That's cool. Yeah.
I don't know what I do. Okay, a hail of rock hard ice pounds into the ground. Okay, so that area is now difficult terrain. Another big circle.
Yeah. It's also not concentration.
No.
So
It'll
that
last the end of my next turn.
she would now be in difficult terrain in the cloud.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the one outside, Grilla, who is the whispery, slightly more sinister one, sees you. What you're up to is you arc this over, and she comes down. She's knocking these big ice things to the side with her big metal staff. But she does take half the damage, obviously. And you do hear from within the cloud a yelp. And let's see how well Krampler is doing inside there.
It's raining!
No, she's
Okay,
right as well.
you hear a sudden yelp, but then quickly you hear that they're huffs and puffs and some more coughs as they try to knock stuff to the side as well. Okay, but they do take half the damage. This is the first damage that's been done to Grilla, the one in front of you, so well done. Okay, so Grilla, upon knocking some of the ice away, turns back to you, and she looks pretty angry at you, and she's actually going to attempt to grab you, so she's going to make a strength check on you.
Oh, jeez.
No, but yeah, strength.
Good thing I'm really strong.
Oh, you are grabbed by Grilla, and she, maybe she's going to drag you, and that's more fun. And she drags you, both of you, into the cloud again.
Oh, the stinky cloud, you're being dragged into your own stink.
You're being sprouted.
She grabs you and whispers and says,
Your nightmare's just beginning.
Oh,
and
jeez.
she pulls you up this direction, so you're now stuck in the cloud. Okay, so, Natasha, it is your turn. You have an increasingly scared-looking hag in front of you. As far as you can tell, it's Freela, as they have been shouting at each other.
I'm going to say, I have this one. You go and help. Where the hell did Jacques go? As we see him being predated into the mist.
Yeah.
I shall handle her. And I'm going to use Shield Master. I'm going to bonus action try and shove her prone. And I have advantage because I am enlarged.
That makes sense to me. Oh, you got advantage, so you got a crit.
Yep.
You flatten Freela to the ground with your shield, basically just pressing her down to the ground.
You stay down.
You'll pay for this?
And then I raise my flail and just start slamming into the ground.
Christ.
And I have advantage on that.
Yeah, because she's prone.
Because she's prone now.
Nice. Jesus.
No one ruins Chrimbus. 22.
That hits. That hits.
Second one. 15.
No, it misses. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
17 AC. That first one hits. Okay, cool. You do hit. As she's sprawled on the ground, you slap her across the face with your flail, doing 12. Ooh,
Plus
big
a
damage.
D6.
Oh yes, of course, because you're large. Yeah.
13. Bam.
13. Very nice. You crack her across the skull, and again the second hit hits onto like the horn area, which sort of tangles it up for a second. So not an effective hit.
I'm gonna stay where I am. I'm okay with that.
I would say that you could stand the one square over and not be in as well. That you wouldn't sufficiently be in if you wanted to stand one to the left.
I would like to do that.
Alright, so she's still prone. Freela uses half her movement to stand up. Christ. She begins screaming, actually,
Crumbler, give me the stone! Give me the heartstone!
and you just hear Crampler somewhere in the smoke near you, Jack, just coughing as she begins to start answering, but she can't get an answer out. So Freela, looking quite panicked now, is going to... No, she's going to do another magic missile on you, because she's got one of those still. So 3 darts onto you, Natasha.
Oh.
So she
Stop
holds out her
shooting me.
hands and peppers you with these little magic bullet.
Stop shooting me in the face.
She's gonna risk going into the stinking cloud. She's technically not actually gonna break your...
No, she won't.
she's there, so she's not... Although you can't see her when she's in there.
No, I can't.
So you're... Okay, so she'll probably stay there, yeah. That's her turn, Chai. It's you. You can't see
I can't see anything. Oh, if you got her... Wait, where's she gone?
Oh, jeez, I'm so tired. What's going on?
It's just me and Sultana now.
Yeah, because you'd seen Natasha go, "Oh no, you don't!"
Yeah.
to just jump into the cloud like.
As you walk past and you see the looming head of Chrimbo, the smoke sort of parts for a second. You see him, his jolly face poking up through the smoke.
I'm going to hold an action to thorn whip the next enemy I can see, or the closest enemy I see first. I'll have Sultana fly over here, just like up
I assume. It's like a 30-foot high.
15 feet into the air. Bonus action judge.
You feel a presence coming out to you. Again, you can't really see too well, but you definitely know that the other hag is right next to you here now.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
As they have all sort of grouped back in the cloud, they are close together, but she has to make a check to see if she voms.
Yep.
And fails to do anything.
Yep.
Christ! Leers out. You see her sort of hands raised up and then suddenly cloths over her mouth. Man, this stinking cloud. This is bullying. She can't do anything. She could move. She could leave. Actually, yeah, you know what? That's just happened.
It's difficult terrain.
And being... Oh, yeah, no. Well, hang on. How much has she moved? Diagonal's okay. So she can move to outside it. So she'll go there. But then that means she'll get thorn whipped. Not that she knows that.
And I see her now.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
She's outside of it.
Oh, so I'm gonna whip her.
Whip it good.
Time to whip it.
Sorry.
I miss.
You whip out as she steps, coughing, spluttering out of the smoke. But
I thought you'd be taller.
anyway, Jacques, you are grabbed still, and you have to make your action. Or you could, I guess, dismiss it.
Do you remember what difficulty the check is again? 15, isn't it?
It's 15 con, which is quite
I'm
hard.
gonna let it go away.
Okay, so yeah, I
let it slip.
would probably do that if I were you.
Yeah.
You dismiss the stinking cloud before you breathe in too much of it when you've been dragged in.
Yep. Not a fan of it.
Oh, there you are.
So suddenly, Krilla's attempts to avoid getting seen have not succeeded, and she now sees that the air in front of her is a frozen, slippery wasteland.
I am going to, because I don't like being grabbed.
No, that's fair.
I know they're quite strong, and I don't fancy that fight.
Yeah, quite
So I am going to Misty Step over here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Gorilla's supernaturally strong grip from their sort of frail-like bodies. I've had enough of this, and you see as her hands slip through you, and you turn to an icy mist and slink away. Very nice.
Being grabbed by those claws, I was like not fancying that. They're gonna tear me up.
I'm walking in the air.
Do you still have your action then, I guess, right? Because dismissing is just a thing you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got a wand, right? I guess. I don't know if that counts. as a
Do it
spell.
again.
You
do
could
it
use
again,
your wand again.
Do it again. Do it again. Do
You
it
could,
again. Do it
you could
again.
do your
Do it
wand
again.
again.
Do it
It's
again.
free.
It's
Oh,
Christmas.
I can't target her, but I can target the area, I guess.
Yeah, you know where she is.
Or you can target this one.
Sure. I will use the wand of wonder again.
Please roll a D100 when I get the table up.
Come on.
21.
Oh,
21.
Is that the same?
That can't be.
Is
No,
that-
that's okay. Okay, this is interesting. You cast Detect Thoughts on the target you chose, which would be Gria, the one that you ran away from.
Yep.
So, let's see how this goes. What does this spell do? Oh, Christ, it's got a lot of writing.
you learn their first initial thoughts, and then you can use an action to...
Oh, yeah, so basically your initial... Yeah, so you learn the surface thoughts of Gorilla for now. But the main thoughts of Gorilla are... God, I hate Chrimbus. I'll do it in her voice.
Yeah.
God, I hate Chrimbus.
Oh.
God, I hate Freela. God, I hate Crampler.
And my only weakness is.
Importantly, as Gorilla's sort of seeing that things are not going amazingly well for them,
I've always got an escape, just in case.
and in the image that forms in her mind when she thinks of this escape is the sort of fork-like staff that she has. Okay, that's what you do.
Sure.
That's great. That's fantastic.
That'll be my turn as my action and my bonus done.
Oh, the ice goes now.
The ice has got away now.
Yeah.
It's the end of my turn.
Okay.
That's true.
Anyway, right, Gorilla, she can't see you anymore because again, this pedestal that the statue is on is about 10 feet tall, and she sort of could follow your trail, but she sees directly in front of her something that looks pretty weak. And she's had enough of trying to fight things that look strong.
KFC for Christmas.
Yeah, you know, she thinks
That looks easy.
she's gonna cast.
Disintegrate.
Disintegrate. They are within 30 feet of each other. So she's gonna cast Eye Bite
Oh no.
on
Oh no.
onto Sultana. Sultana has to make a Wisdom save of 15 because their DC is higher for their Coven spells.
Sultana's trained.
Sultana passes. You think that she's probably attempting to make Sultana go to sleep. That's +7. That's a big number
My proficiency
for a
is actually
peacock.
Oh yeah, you get to add your proficiency, don't you?
Oh right, yeah. If anyone is curious, I was just playing the Beast Master Ranger from the most recent Unearthed Arcana. So unless there's been a new Unearthed Arcana Ranger in the last couple of days, which is very possible. You see Gorilla takes a few steps towards Sultana in anger, but then as she begins to move past this threshold of the 30 feet, sort of snarls and takes another step back this way. Okay, that is Gorilla's turn. It is Natasha, your turn.
I'm going to bash her onto ground of shield again.
That makes sense. That was quite effective.
22.
Ooh, 22 is good. Strength. Resist! Oh my god. It's again. As she's attempting to flee, you knock her straight onto her face. I assume you hit her twice.
No.
Ooh, no.
I then reach down with my hand and I'm gonna grab her.
Oh, real big Russian fist.
Oh god. Okay, so I guess because she's on the ground, she has disadvantage, and you have advantage because you're larger.
And then I have still advantage.
Yep.
26.
Oh my god. 7.
And then I drag her
Oh please.
By the legs, obviously.
backwards this way
Sure.
with me.
Sure, yeah. So you drag her away, and as she drags her past this threshold, you see this something about the magics that they are sort of channeling seems to get a little weaker again, and the other two witches snarl and cry out. Freela is, of course, screaming at you.
Go again, do your worst, come on!
And then,
Nothing.
and then with my second attack, I bop her on the head.
Oh no! Instantly killing her.
No, I don't have a weapon. Because I have to be grabbing
Oh yeah,
her.
of course, yeah, because you're grabbing her. Yeah.
No, you're coming with me!
You can make like an improvised weapon attack with your shield, which would be your offhand, so it wouldn't
her.
be. Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna kick her.
You can do that. Make a strength to kick her for 1 damage.
It's 1 plus strength.
No, it'd be plus a d6.
Oh yeah, because you're yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're big. It's a weapon
20.
attack.
Sorry, yeah, you
Oh.
you stomp on her a bit.
6
You
damage.
do good damage. Again, it's not magic though. This damage isn't magical. So, but you stomp her a bit as she's screaming defiance at you, and she coughs a bit.
Oh, it's like Black Friday.
Right, this is grim. Well, she's grabbed. She's not restrained.
And she's
though.
prone.
She hasn't got many options. Is she just going to keep trying to pepper you with magic missiles? She can't really attack you very effectively because she's on the ground as well. So she is going to keep shooting with magic missiles, desperately hoping that she hits you with the 3 darts. Ooh, some big damage.
10. Oh, it's starting to wear me down.
So yeah, it's really, it's kind of ridiculous. This giant towering armored person being peppered
Chipped
with
away.
these little-
She keeps just shooting me in the face. Just over
Yeah,
and
yeah.
over again.
I guess that's her turn. It's hard to read a sort of empathy, emotion into this horrible thing's face, but she looks more so than afraid, just very angry, just furious at you, and presumably at her allies.
I am stomping the hell out of her.
So Chai, it is your turn. The battlefield has been revealed to
yes.
you in full.
I'm gonna stomp up. I'm gonna grab my stuff with both hands. Ask Sultana to fly over. And we're gonna begin our combat maneuver.
Oh, here we go.
I have Thunder's Mark on this person.
You do, yes.
So I'm going to Chalet twice. Whack.
That hits.
Oh, yeah.
With advantage. Oh, big 12 bludgeoning.
Big shillelagh.
Shillelagh
You
again.
finally get a good hit on this person.
Oh,
That just hits with advantage. And that's magic damage, I guess, because you've finally had a chance to get a straight shot at this person. Then you crack them twice against the head.
As a bonus action, I will command Sultana to attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get up, buddy.
Oh, yeah, big 17.
Yeah.
That hits it all!
You're just beating her with a
Just
stick and the
quick.
peacock's going nuts.
And Sultana will fly by and not provoke any opportunity attacks.
Oh, and
fly away to Jack's side.
Natasha's certainly been dominating the
It's
fight.
like a wrestling.
And definitely in terms of like emotional damage, has dealt the most. But of all the three of them, this one down here is probably the most hurt. Krampler, whose turn it now is. She turns around to you, rubbing the back of her head, with fury in her eyes, and shouts,
Grilla, help me with this one. Let's just finish this.
and Greta sort of rolls her eyes and looks, sort of starts whispering, swears to herself about being given orders. Krampler's gonna do something. What's she gonna do? She's probably just gonna make one of her claw attacks, because it's pretty good. She's gonna claw at you with her big, nasty fingers. Oh my god, 9. Doesn't even hit you. You sort of lean back.
2 telegraphed.
It wouldn't have even gone through your thick elephant skin. You're pretty sure. You're just dodging it for style points.
I've got the power of Chrimbus with me.
Chrimbus. Ha! You'll regret those words.
And she shifts. She starts moving around you like this.
Dancing.
Yeah, she's circling you creepily, and occasionally looking over expectantly at Grilla. Like, go on, come behind him. Come on, help out. It is.
I kept trying to make a joke right there about the Maharaj trick.
Well, keep at it. Let us know how that goes.
I think that was pretty close to a
It's
joke.
close. It's almost a
You'll
joke.
get there. You'll get there.
I get there eventually. I'll workshop it. I'll be back in a few.
Yeah.
A few rounds.
Okay, so Jacques, it is your
Sure.
turn.
I am going. Well, Jack is going to run up here.
Your Jacques now. It's okay.
It's me.
You can say I'm. It's
I'm
you.
going to look at this. Look at this old hag, and I will cast Wall of Water, and I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it like this for you.
Oh, prison.
Okay.
It's going to surround her.
Okay. A big box.
There's a big box of water, and then I'm going to meta magic to cast another spell as my bonus action,
Okay.
and then targeted here on her, I will cast Snowball Swarm.
Oh Jesus!
Get him.
Spells that deal cold damage will pass through the wall and cause the other wall to freeze solid.
I encase her in ice.
Jesus Christ!
The old Jack Frost prison.
That's a pretty amazing combo. That's pretty rock and roll. Okay, I mean, she's gonna have disadvantage to dodge when she's submerged in water because she's not aquatic. So she's gonna make a dex check with disadvantage but she will be frozen in it regardless. It's just Jesus Christ. Fails. You sprint around the side of the statue again. Your eyes blinded a second by this very bright bell. This is the brightest one you've seen so far, and it's the only source of light in this room. Actually, you see Grilla is beginning to stalk towards Chai, presumably to help out and
Begrudgingly.
and you pull out your sick combo into Jesus Christ. So she is on that much health. That was a big hit. These big cube of water with one hand, and then with the other hand, bring down this ice storm onto it, freezing it. So let me just. Can she move? I guess it's my decision. I'm gonna say it's not like an ice cube, but it's so she could try and make an attack with disadvantage
Sure.
on like the block in front of her.
So good.
Oh, it's her turn.
You could read her minds as well.
You need to use an action to pry deeper.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I use my action.
Yeah.
No, but you
On my
have
bonus.
her. You know her surface thoughts as well, do you? Like.
I do know her surface thoughts. I guess it's.
Yeah,
Oh God,
do you-
where's all this ice come from?
I think she's now thinking.
Maybe it's just better to cut and run now.
I know.
I don't really care much for these two. It would be nice to see them die before I go. And this icy fellow too.
And as you see her thoughts, you see as she attempts to make an attack on the block that would lead to you.
Oh,
Let's see how this goes. Is she going to be able to claw her way out? She hits it.
Yeah.
Quelle surprise.
Yeah.
And you see it crack, but it is not shattered. But a big crack has suddenly appeared between you and her.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like The Shining.
Yeah.
Natasha, just sit up.
Okay. I am going to. She's still prone, right?
Yeah. Because she would have to try and break out, and there's like no way that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or it's not. Yeah, because she's. Yeah.
Can I just move her here?
Yeah. You can drag her
I
there.
tug her over.
Pull her over to there. Yeah.
And then I guess I'm gonna keep kicking her.
You're just gonna keep kicking. You're not gonna hit her. You're gonna kick.
I want to hold her so she can't.
No, that's fair. She is still grabbed.
If I'm holding her, she can't get up.
just kicking her. You're gonna kick her to death.
You're gonna kick a hag to
horrible.
death.
This is so bad.
Just stomp on this hag repeatedly.
Thing is, she is now the one with the highest health in this fight.
I'm gonna use a bonus action to activate the storm rune on my weapon.
Okay, sure. Is that your boot in this context?
Yeah, I guess so. This will now enable me to use my reaction to give advantage or disadvantage to somebody within range on attacks and saving throws and things like that.
Okay.
It's quite a cool ability. I basically enter kind of like a prophetic-ish state, so like my eyes are now glowing.
Right, kind of like how the storm giant is a prophetic creature.
Yes,
I get you.
yes. And I am gonna start trying to kick the heck out of her.
Okay, sure.
I could see all possible futures, and they all lead to my boot. 15.
This does not hit. You stomp her.
26.
You stomp her at once, and she sort of catches it and grins at you. Then you stomp her. You just push a bit harder and stomp right onto her face. You crack her nose a bit, and she yelps again.
Ah! What are you idiots doing? Help me!
And she shouts over at the others, who appear to be ignoring her at this point. Really. Okay, that's your turn.
Yep, that's my turn. I'm gonna kick a witch to death. Like they do in the old country.
Kick the witch.
Upon realising that her coven, not her friends, so the people she's working with for now, Frida has realised that she's going to have to get out of this on her own. She is going to attempt to break free of this grab.
Okay.
With her strength. Oh, that's a good roll.
Okay.
But you still have advantage.
I have advantage, yep.
22 versus
21.
Ooh. Oh. She just slips out. You've been getting maybe a little, maybe not cocky, but she's not put up much of a fight, so you have been focusing mainly on stomping on her.
Yeah.
So she slips out from under your shield, and she's gonna hightail it. Where is she?
She has to get up.
Oh yeah, she does. She's only got 15 feet. Crust. That's terrible. She's going nowhere. She's just gonna go straight in a straight line away from you.
All right. Do I get attack of opportunity? No, I don't use it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You want to keep.
I want to keep my reaction in case somebody needs it.
That's fair. She's kind of holding her hands above her head, expecting to be slapped from behind, and sort of a bit shocked that nothing comes. Okay. That was her action to do that, though, to break out. So it is now Char's turn.
Right. Step down here. I'm gonna swing. I'm gonna swing.
Get Sultana to help.
You're gonna get Sultana to help out. Yeah. Just check.
Time with that.
The ultimate ranger combo.
Yeah, I'll swing twice. Yeah, sure. Should I? Hey-ho!
It hits with advantage.
Crit failing a lot. But,
yeah, there's been a lot of those. I'll just mark. Nice.
Again, with the backswing.
It hits again with advantage. Luckily, you feel that without Sultana's excellent help here, you and Sultana have a symbiotic relationship at this point, and you work like a crack team. Oh, you deal out some big damage there.
So I will fly over here and attack this one that's just sort of crawling and getting away.
Yeah. She flees from the giant Natasha straight into the shredding claws of Sultana. Which again, not magic damage. This one is just getting beaten to death with just regular stuff. She draws back for a second and then turns to see that she's been hit by a little bird, and she's just like,
"What's going on? Why me? Why not them?"
Sultana will loop back round, back to the same spot.
Oh, then she gets. Oh no, good flyby. Yeah, of course. Yeah, crumbs. crumbs.
So strong. Sultana MVP.
Okay, so the one in front of you, you just deal this huge blow to our good friend Crampler, breaking one of the horns clean off. In fact, they are definitely, to use an old term, bloodied. And
What a ref.
Crampler.
Only real D&D players will get that one.
I know, right? Crampler begins to sort of grab the black shiny stone around her neck, and then looks back around and lets go for a second. She is going to. What is the distance currently? They are within Coven spell range. I did say that I wouldn't use it, but screw you. No, I'm not. Yeah, you know what? I will. She's going to attempt to cast Polymorph on you, Chuck.
Oh, me?
She's going to try to.
But I look amazing already.
She's going to try and polymorph you into a peacock, so I don't have to use another token.
I use my reaction to give Chai advantage.
Oh,
very good. Nice. Okay, let's see how it goes. What do you have to
What's my
roll?
save?
You have to roll a Wisdom saving throw of 15. Please.
I'm wise, but yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ah. She says something she's in like infernal,
Yes, become the peacock.
and she points at you. You just think, probably shouldn't have said what your spell did, because that made it easy to resist. But thank you. And of course, Natasha, you ever vigilant, lending your aid. Is she going to move? She's going to move to here, so she has a little bit of cover from anyone down this way. It is your turn, Jacques.
Sure. I'll keep one hand up, keeping the ice balls up, and I will hold one hand this way and cast Ray of Frost.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. You do hit.
It does 13 cold damage.
13. Again, she's been... Frida sort of stumbles out of this as she's looking around, and suddenly she's getting pegged and shot with frost, and she's never felt less like she was in the cover of 3 witches. She can't even see any of her friends. And she screams out,
Did you all abandon me already, you cowards?
and she does take the full damage. Christ.
That'll be all from me.
You look back at the wall that you've set up, and you hear, again, you understand the primordial, but you don't understand, you can't quite hear the words because they're encased in ice, but you hear rising hoarse whispering,
Yes.
and you see a glow start to happen within, a bright blue crackling glow as Grida casts lightning bolt at you straight through this. So could you make it's a dex check of 15?
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
How's
amazing.
that? You do pass. Just checking. So you're going to take 8d6 lightning damage. Because she's very angry at you.
Dude, that
Okay,
looks
we'll
so
break.
cool. The crack on the side, and then you're like, oh, that's gotta, and then you kind of turn to Ray of Frost, and then you look back, and it laser blasts out.
Oh!
Oh.
38 halved, so 19, but a huge smash. The front of this ice pillar that you've made cracks open.
I probably lose concentration.
Make the check, but she has made a hole to get out through. But
No, let's go. Let's go.
yeah, you fail. She steps out of it, and as she sees that you're still there, she begins to run towards you, and she's here. She can't do anything yet, but she's there now. Okay, that is Grila's turn. It is Natasha. It is your turn.
I'm going to charge forward right here, and then I am going to make a bonus action shield shove onto Frida, and I'm going to try to shove her 5 feet.
Okay, sure. Down that way, sure.
Yeah. So that'd be athletics with advantage.
She's only passed one of these so far, but let's
She's not weak. 25.
She's not weak, but she's getting absolutely bullied by you. Shoved, not knocked prone, right?
Yeah, shoved.
You batter to the side, knocking her against the statue base.
And then I'm going to move here.
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
it's conga line.
Okay.
And then
Between the two.
And then I'm gonna make just to be in her face. So if Jack disengages or anything, I'm right here. Oh wait, a minute. She's got her staff that's like smoking, right?
Yeah, she has this sort of... Yeah.
Do you
she
think
has
I
a staff.
could try and grab it?
You can try and grab it. Yeah, you can try and grab it. It'll be strength, and I would say that she'll have... You're not going to have advantage because it's like it's delicate, small work, and you're like big. But it'll be strength on strength.
Yeah.
To grab, and it's not like taking it off her; it's just grabbing it for now. Okay, so strength. Ooh, only 14 from her.
Just straight strength.
Yeah.
12.
Ooh, She seems to be completely focused on Jack as you lean over to grab her stuff, but she reacts nimbly and she tugs it away as you try and grab, and she wags the other finger and says,
Not yet. Your turn will come.
Then I turn around and bop Freeler on the head.
it's like, fair enough.
Because that's tradition.
Yeah, fair beans.
Alright, fail. Bam. 24.
Hits, you swing around 13 plus the 6.
16 points.
Bow!
Freeler begins to suspect that you are toying with her before slightly. As her head is ringing, she's sort of just like thinking about other stuff and like, oh, I guess it wasn't so bad when I was getting kicked. You also suspect that she is now bloodied.
Okay. Start out together.
Okay, it's her turn, and she's found herself yet again between a rock and a peacock. A peacock and a hard place.
Nice.
Anyway, jokes. Hang on for days. Freeler, what are you going to do, Freeler? You're so screwed. She peers around this corner and shouts again at Crampler.
Crampler, if you don't give me that heartstone now, I'll get you in the next life.
And Crampler sort of just shakes her head and clutches at it again and says,
We all have our own bodies to tend to, you know.
Freeler is yet again being denied this mysterious item. She is going to try and cast Ray of Enfeeblement onto Natasha.
I use my reaction to give her this.
Nice. It's a spell attack, this one, wasn't it?
Yes.
It's
plus 5.
Yes, it is, so it's plus 5. That does not hit. Let's just see how badly she doesn't hit. Wow, really badly. She does not hit again. Once again, she turns around with some sort of draining ray, but you know what it's like.
Someone
trying to drain your strength.
I saw it coming. Literally.
You did, yeah. In fact, you close your eyes and you see a second into the future, and you catch it on your shield that's all ruined up and ready to stop magic. She seethes in anger. Chai, it's your turn.
It's my turn. I am going to... Yes. I'm going to use one of my attacks to grab her. This one with my trunk.
With your trunk, okay.
Okay.
Athletics.
Do it then. Do it, you athletics guy. 20. Ooh, okay. And she's going to roll on 2. Strength, pure strength.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've failed a lot of strength checks. They got 18 in strength.
Yeah, I mean, she's been rolling very well against me.
That is true. Okay, so she's grabbed. Movement 0. Yep.
Get your hands off me! Pathetic mortal.
Frida responds to that.
We're mortal too, you know, you idiot!
I'm gonna...
And then whispers Greta.
Soon. Immortality. When Chrimbus is gone, and our plans come to fruition, all of Hagdom will be immortal.
No! Oh, Hagdom.
So long as I'm the last hag remaining.
She keeps to herself.
Does Jacques hear that?
Yeah,
Let's go. Rewind.
And she looks over you, Jack, and puts her finger to her lips and winks.
Keep that to yourself.
But I'm going to pull her back. So she goes back
You
to
drag
the
her over
space
this way?
that I was just in.
You drag her
That's
to
all
here.
movement. Come here, Sultana. We're going to do the maneuver again.
Oh, she
Sultana.
Sultana turns around and flies over.
That's
That's exactly what my bird would.
so that was like 25 minutes.
And sometimes you're not sure if Sultana's following orders or just flying randomly whenever a noise happens. Hard to tell.
I'll move up a square. Oh no!
You do not hit. Finding it difficult to hit this creature that's in front of you while your nose is attached to it. It's a difficult maneuver. You've not done it recently, but you have it grabbed and there though.
Okay. And then the rest of Sultan's movement, he's going to do a lap round Chrimbo.
He's right next to the bell being held quite low down on the statue. It's very bright, shining. It's kind of hurting his eyes a little bit, but he can still.
And as a bonus action, will attack this hag over here. That's 3 around.
That hits. Ooh, good damage. Sultana claws at the rags covering the body, and you know they're making some progress here, but they're supernaturally tough skin. Greta doesn't even really turn around. She just sort of frowns deeper at Jacques.
That's my go. He's my go.
Is the one that you are grabbing's turn. Now, they are still just in range for their coming. Only just. I must apologise. She's gonna try again to polymorph you into into a peacock again.
I can't give you advantage this time.
Okay, that's fine.
You're further from your friends now.
And she does the same incantation.
Yes. Turn into a peacock.
So make another wisdom, right? I think it was wisdom.
Oh, 16.
Oh my god! Yes, again. You have just passed as you holding her down or holding her in front of you, struggling with this. Well, it's not pleasant to be grabbing on with your nose to such an unpleasant creature, but you're managing.
What did you say?
You heard me.
Jack, it's your turn. Go nuts.
Is the bell at the top of the statue?
He's holding it in his hand that he's got behind his back,
Okay.
and it's about 15 feet up.
I kind of want to ring it.
Yeah. She goes on and on about hating the Christmas bells.
Yeah,
And just as a reminder as well, like the first room had been defaced with these tools that are lying around, and here there's evidence that someone's been trying to do it, but it's just not worked. The statue and everything is it's unscathed, and the tools are like sort of twisted and broken on the floor.
Okay.
Christmas is might.
Christmas is so strong. Yeah, I will Misty Step up next to it.
Okay, so you step just onto the edge of this little statue.
Yeah. I'm gonna use my action to ring it.
And you strike the bell with your I guess with
My wand, I guess.
your wand. Yeah, dong. It's not a big bell. You ring it, and it lights up incredibly brightly. And unlike before, when previously you've had a vision come to you, this time the light starts pulsating and glowing, and the statue turns around to you, and you see Chrimbo wink at you. And then he turns further around.
Oh my god!
Shed a tear.
It's actually Chrimbo.
Chrimbo.
Oh my god!
You think you hear somewhere a ghostly ho 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 floating around.
I would use my movement to get off of him to not impede him.
That's fine. Yes.
And drop down over here.
Grilla, upon seeing this, curses in every language she's got. She's got a couple: infernal, primordial, fiendish, common. I think some other ones as well. And turns back to see you and Sultana. At this point, from knowing her surface thoughts, she's thinking,
Well, I'm definitely getting out of here. But I'll see if I can take some of them down with me first.
and she again takes a stance, and blue crackling electricity goes around her skin. The other two sort of go,
Oi! You're using all the higher level spells for yourself!
and she says,
Soon I won't have to hear them anymore.
and she casts lightning bolt on Sultana and you.
I cast counterspell.
Oh, yeah!
She thrusts her hands out, and nothing happens. She's not happy.
And now you're wasting all of the higher level spells.
Yeah, they've got. Yeah, well, quite right. Freeland, in fact, says,
You don't even deserve that stick. Give it to me.
it's her. Ooh, is she going to use her movement? Is she going to try and run away? She probably would step away from the statue. So she's going to back off into this corner and take the opportunity attacks that she'd take from that. So if you want to make a... Sultana,
yes. Sultana will use his reaction to it.
I don't get one. I used my reaction.
Oh, you use your reaction. Okay, fair. That doesn't... So as she steps away and narrowly avoiding getting pecked. Okay, it's initiative 0. So the statue of Chrimbo holds up its big stripy cane and makes a attack on Freela.
He immediately kills 1d4 witches.
Plus 2.
Yes!
Oh,
wow.
Plus 10 to hit, if you hadn't noticed. He swings down and, with a mighty ringing bell noise, hits Freela over the head, dealing...
1,000,000.
1,000,000 damage.
Not the most. It could be higher. It is magic, though. 2d6 plus 10, so it's quite good.
It's quite good.
It's quite a lot. Knocking the air out of Freela, his expression has turned from one of, It looks kind of the same, but the context has changed.
You're on my naughty list.
They say he sees you when you're sleeping.
He knows when you're awake.
That's meant to be our domain. Nightmares. He is the nightmare of fiends. Chrimbo. It's hard to enter the nightmares of children at Crimbus, for Chrimbo watches always.
Now it's Natasha's turn. You are on par in size with the statue of Chrimbo. He's higher up, but he's also a dwarf, so he's sort of just one head above you.
Alright, so, now these two are really far apart for casting their spells.
They are no longer using the coven spells.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. She chose to run away. So I'm thinking if she can get away without needing the rest of them, which I think she can.
You see as she's backed away, she's now clutching the fork staff with both hands and appears to be sort of muttering and sort of dragging it along the ground around her at her feet, getting ready to do something.
Okay.
You know, to cast Lumbridge Home Teleport.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Sam. Good one. Natasha is going to... Columbus has this one. Natasha's going to charge Grilla in the corner.
Frida will make an attack on you, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. That does not hit.
Okay, a charge. And then I am going to... use a bonus action to try to shove her on her ass.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So that's strength with advantage.
Okay, sure. This one, Grilla's definitely looking the least hurt of them all at this point as well, but she's also clearly... you knock her down. You knock her against the wall, and then she sort of slides down it onto the ground.
And as she's not down on the ground, I'd like to try to kick or take her staff away.
Okay, sure. So straight strength, but she'll have disadvantage.
Sounds good.
Because she's prone. So 21 for her. She's holding onto it tight.
11.
She's sort of cottoned onto what you're getting at, and she's holding it close to her chest.
I'm gonna live to fight another day, and I'm gonna live to visit your little boy's nightmares.
Oh, you don't mess with a Mama Grizzly. I am going to try again, because I have two attacks.
Sure. Oh, yeah, nice. Okay, she's going to try again, with disadvantage.
Come on!
Oh!
16! You do it!
As she threatens the mental sanity of your child, and potentially his life, you bulk up, you boot the fork away from her hands, and suddenly the one who seemed the most composed out of all of them, panic sets over her face, and she's not even she's wordless. It's weakest way. It'll be the square next to you, so it's there.
Okay. I then yeah, that's it. That's all I can do. I use my and bonus and all attacks. She's on the ground. I'm gonna kick her stick away.
Yep.
Okay,
that's
10.
It is now Frida's turn, who just got absolutely dunked by the statue of Chrimbo. You're not sure if he'll be able to move from his position, potentially. However, Frida has seen an opportunity to come and grab the stick. So she runs over and picks it up. I'm going to say that she can't do it straight away, because she's got to pick up and equip it, and that's going to be her action, because it's like on the ground to grab.
all these witches just trying to save themselves. They're like fighting over the stick now.
And she is now also going to try and run away with it, moving like one square. And Grilla's going to make an attack at her to try and out of anger, but with disadvantage because he's on the ground.
Get back here! Give that back!
And she does hit. Now they're just fighting each other. And Frida is sliced a bit and is looking really bad, actually. She was not looking good before, and now she's looking extra bad. Frida is, though, gleefully holding onto the staff and begins to do the same little scratching along the ground, little circle around her that Greedle was doing just before. So, Chai, it's your turn.
Yes.
You got your own fight going on down
right?
there.
You're on the road now.
I still have this.
And she sort of touches the little black stone that she's got around her on her belt.
I will. I'm gonna hit her twice.
Okay.
Nice.
Watcha!
He's hitting a witch. He's hitting her twice.
Yes.
That does hit.
Oh.
Very nice. Hunter's mark as well.
Thwack.
Ooh, the thwack.
And again.
The good bonk.
Good bonk her again. Yeah, 12 misses.
That does not hit, I'm afraid.
Sultana, I'm going to command him to...
That one's on the floor. This one is very badly injured, but is looking like it's going to try and do something next time it has a turn.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have it. I'll have Star attack for the bonus action. Oh!
It does not hit. Very sad. It's not big surprise.
Good job, Turkey.
He is. This one is... Ooh, okay. Cramper. Because of the way this is all going to work, and the way the fight is going, she's actually going to do a strange little move. She grabs the stone around her, on her belt, and disappears. And you're no longer grabbing anything. She's not invisible, she just isn't there anymore.
Oh.
Gone. And you see Freela look over and says,
Well, it doesn't matter now. Now that I have this. Just 6 more seconds.
and Grilla whispers like,
No, not like this. Not me.
and she's gone. Nothing else happens. So on her turn.
So she maybe she misty stepped out of sight.
Completely disappeared. Just vanished. Like she'd been invisible, but you because you were grabbing her, you could feel that she didn't just slip out of the grab. She was no longer there.
She may be ethereal.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Jack, it's your turn.
Sure. Okay. I'm going to expend a first level spell slot, as I still have 4 of them, to get back 1 sorcery point. So I now have 4.
Very nice.
Just to keep it, I don't know. Might need them.
Sure, yeah.
I haven't been needing my first level spells, so I haven't been able to use them. I'm going to Ray of Frost. Our drawing friend twice by using my bonus action to cast it twice.
Okay, sounds good to me.
And neither hit.
Yeah, no, the second one wouldn't hit. Yeah.
That's my turn.
Sad times. Okay, Gorilla gets up, is completely ignoring you, Natasha, and is lurching forward, grabbing at stuff, and is going to attempt to grab Freela now.
She's grabbing Freela or the stick?
The stick. They're going to be fighting over it.
Okay. I give her disadvantage.
She still passes, so she has now grabbed it, but she has used her action to grab it, so she can't use it now. And then she starts to dance around on the floor, drawing a little circle around her feet.
Oh.
It's initiative 0. Chrimbo actually, the statue of Chrimbo, leans out very far. He has reached 10. It goes to clonk Freela on the back of the head, so let's see how he rolls. He hits.
Oh, yeah.
Clonks her again. Not great damage from him. Only 17, which is bloody lies. And he clonks her, and she knocks her head against the wall, and sort of slumps to her knees a bit, and she looks like she has the average health of like a regular peasant human at this point. She looks very... She's been defeated basically the whole fight, to be honest.
She has been the most pathetic.
It's a tragic tale of Freela the Hag. That is Chrimbo's thing. It is...
Isn't it my turn?
Yes.
I'm going to try to... I can't... It's so difficult to get this stick away. So I'm just gonna try and... I guess let's just try and... No, You suspect that she'd find it difficult to do when on the floor. Yeah,
prone.
I was about to say she threatened my boy.
Yeah, man.
She threatened my boy.
Mm.
She threatened my little baboya. I am going to try and shove her on her ass then. Shield slam her.
Ooh, you knock her, you push her, but she manages to steady her on her feet. She starts.
I'm then going to take 2 attacks. I guess on Freela because I stand a chance of actually killing her. 13.
13 does not hit, no.
24.
That hits. You do hit.
13.
Oh, you just as Freela is being knocked around the room, clawing at the staff desperately, not even looking anymore. You clonk her and she flies, hits her head on the wall, and slumps down and is dead.
Okay.
Hooray!
1 down.
Got her.
One down.
Yes. Now it's you. That's it.
This is not going quite as planned.
I shall see you in your nightmares.
Okay, so there's only one enemy that you guys can see. Well, I'll be even more accurate. There's only one enemy here.
Sure.
To be completely clear on that. So Chai, it's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, the person you were fighting is just gone.
Damn.
Just zoomed out.
I'm gonna run 30 feet.
Why wouldn't you?
I'd run with 2 feet, but you can run with 30 if you got them.
Keep on looking through these strength checks. I failed, and I fired 3 more points of strength.
Oh no! Don't! It's not.
So where's the staff at the moment?
She's got it. Gorilla's got it.
She's got it.
She's doing a thing.
She's got it. She's not on her ass at all.
Okay.
And she is casting right now, and she goes after Jacques.
She will do what she's planning to do to escape next turn. You will have still saved Chrimbus.
Yes.
Yeah, but she's gonna kill my boy.
She's gonna come.
Then what are we gonna do?
She's promised to come for Natasha's boy in his dreams. You could throw your stick. You could drop your stick and pull out your bow. I know you've got one. I know what your dex is as well, though.
No, I'll cast. I was thinking if there's any way to stop her, but not much. But I'll thorn whip her to pull her towards me. Oh yeah!
Bet you get her. Okay, nice. Crit. So 7 damage onto her.
Right.
She looks moderately healthy. How far does it pull?
10 feet.
You know what? You can, Natasha. You can. You're enraged. You can take an opportunity attack for that. I'm going to give you that.
Get her.
This is a team attack. That hits. Just
Get her.
Well, attack.
Yeah.
as Chai pulls, you swing into the pull and crack across the face, doing a further 13 damage. Ooh, she's suddenly lost a big chunk of health there.
I'm gonna have some time move in the way of here. Yeah, just attack her.
Attack with advantage. That hits. Oh, good damage. She is bloodied.
Okay.
She coughs up.
Curse you all.
It is Jack's turn.
How much do we want to kill her?
Revenge. She's gonna go after a boy.
My little boy.
How healthy are we all?
47.
60 on
I'm
yours.
69.
69.
Basically, I could do a cantrip or I can cast Ice Storm. Those are my options here.
Do it. Do
No
it.
balls. Do it.
Alright.
Rose resist ice. He's gonna say do it.
I
He's
do.
not. He's got the highest health and ice resistance.
I'm very good at dexterity throws.
I mean, I could cast it so it only hits me and Raj and the
makes
creature, potentially.
No need to take it. Silly risks.
Oh yeah.
She fails.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a dex check as well.
18 plus 12, 30.
Ooh. How much? So that's
so be 30, wouldn't it?
30
No,
damage.
30 damage, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was good.
How are we looking? And then I'll use my last two.
She's looking very bad.
I'll use my last 2 sorcery points to cast. I'm gonna go for guaranteed damage again. I've target on it, so it's gonna hit you and the bird. I'm gonna cast my last snowball.
Ooh.
Keep throwing these ice. Keep throwing the ice.
Okay, it's another dex check.
Oh, not a great damage, but it'll be
Not
14.
incredible. She fails. 14.
Yep.
Hail falls down, cracking, smashing on the floor. She doubles over a second. She's still casting the spell, and then a big rock smacks on the back of the head, and she falls down dead. Just
Chrimbo.
literally on the number. Christ.
Yeah.
Chrimbo. The statue of Chrimbo turns to you, all of you, looks over you all, does a big wink, and then it returns back facing the way it was and is no longer a hammer. Well, congratulations, you have saved Chrimbus, my made-up holiday.
Woo!
Legally distinct holiday.
Yes.
Legally distinct. Yay!
Dude, if she was gonna try and get away with a teleport or something.
Playing a shift,
Yeah.
specifically. She would have gone back to hell.
So here's exactly what I... Oh, yeah, very good. Jacques could have tried to counterspell.
I would have, yeah.
So
Okay.
I was saving my reaction to give Jacques advantage on the ability
Yeah,
check.
because it's a 7th level spell.
Yeah.
They have up to like 3rd level, and then they have one 7th level spell. Give me an arcana, history. Give me a history roll.
Sure.
Just to wrap up any loose ends. You think about the hags that you've heard of, and you have definitely heard of some powerful hags being able to move between planes and the realms and stuff. Upon examination, you think the other one may well have gone to the ethereal plane and just run away. So alive somewhere, gonna return to the material plane, but they can move between it at will when they got the Heartstone. but not a threat now, and definitely not a threat without two other hags helping out.
Okay.
Yeah. We've destroyed the coven, that's the most important thing. After saving Christmas.
And
Chrimbo,
saved Chrimbus.
Chrimbus even. That's the most important thing.
But yeah, so, you know, as you guys, you leave the temple, you reset the door as it was, and you look out on the city below as the sun begins to rise. The fog is clearing out. It's going to be a lately organised Chrimbus, you know. Everyone's going to have to really get it together to organise like a few weeks worth of planning. But surely everyone's going to sort it out. It's Chrimbus after all.
Yeah.
What's your Chrimbus plans for your characters? What are you guys going to go? How are you going to celebrate?
I'm going to ask the first peasant boy I see to buy the biggest turkey.
The biggest peacock.
Yeah, the biggest peacock. He can find.
Scrooge when he's completed his hero journey, except every day.
Every day, that's it. Yeah.
Every day you wake up and go, what day is it?
Presumably straight after Christmas, Scrooge.
Thursday.
Scrooge goes back to his normal way.
Presumably so.
Buy
Otherwise,
the
what makes Christmas
biggest
special?
animal in season you could find.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing I do every morning is ask what
Try,
day.
please, we can't have a feast every day.
What day is it, boy?
It's like an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah.
What day is it, boy?
I assume, Jack, you're gonna go and celebrate Chrimbus amongst the people.
Yeah, I think Jacques might leave the Wand of Wonder here.
Oh.
You know
As a
what?
gift.
That might be. You put it at
I put it by his
feet.
statue. I'm gonna lay it down now. I feel like it's a better place for it here.
And
yeah,
and you think as you look back, maybe there's a little twinkle in his eye, but maybe you're just fooling yourself. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's just a trick of the light. Yeah, and then he'd just go and he'd just spend it. You know, go back to the orphanage where he grew up, and he's just gonna help out there.
And Natasha, you got a pathetic husband to check on.
Well, I would
in his upper middle class working job.
I would go back to my family, and I would spend a wonderful day with my wonderful family, except
Nice.
Sergey.
He's okay.
I tolerate him on this wonderful day.
He's wonderful. It's Christmas. And of course, maybe the townspeople will not really know what's gone on, but I think they know that something was wrong, and they definitely know that you guys had something to do with solving it. So there's free pints being handed out to you as you pass pubs, and people are going, those are our heroes, those three, and everyone's like, you know, because you've not worked together so much before, and they see you all walking back from the mountain together, and like, well, this is a powerful force of good. Surely they are blessed by Saint Chrimbo himself. And the townspeople are blessed, of course, to have such powerful and good protectors looking after them in this important time of year. Well, I think that's the end of the tomb of Saint Chrimbo. Congratulations. If Gorilla had gotten away, then I would have done it on one next year.
Yeah.
of her coming back from avenge you.
Well, one of them did get away.
One of them got away, slightly not as maybe less ambitious, but we'll see. Maybe she'll turn up somewhere. I guess I should just say at the end, this is a video. Hopefully,
Maybe
it's a video.
Fingers
I'm not
crossed.
going to say like, subscribe, and comment because it's Christmas. I'm not going to sell things to you.
But what you could do is give us a gift of your subscription.
No, it's Chris. I'm giving you the gift of this great video that's hopefully going to come out as close to Christmas as I can make it. It's probably quite a long one, so if you've got this far, thank you very much. Hope you're having a great time and all that. Thank you to my three playing peoples.
Oh, thank you.
Raj, of course,
pleasure.
you all know Raj if you're a real fan of the show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're a fan of the channel, you'll know Sam and Neil, obviously. From all of us, I think, Merry Chrimbus.
Merry Christmas.
Or any other celebration. Yeah, Merry Chrimbus.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Only
yeah.
Christmas.
Only Christmas.
Not
Good
Christmas.
Holy
Not
Christmas.
not Christmas. There's a war on that.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, war
I hope you
on
have a
Christmas.
terrible Christmas.
Yeah, we celebrate Winterval. I don't know if you've heard.
I only celebrate Winter X, as the extreme winter.
Oh yeah,
holiday
the
from,
X
Chrimbo
Games,
book
yeah.
of the Santa Claus,
Oh,
yeah.
Christ.
Anyway.
I just celebrate winter. I just want to say something, right? Did you invent this whole Christmas campaign as an elaborate way to tell the subscribers to ring the bell button?
Oh, Neil. Oh, Neil.
What have you done?
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you run with me this early?
You have to edit it out.
That'll be post credits.
Yeah.
What have you done?
I refer to them in my notes as Chrimbo's jingle bells. That's how I'm referring to them.